blocking zone. Yes! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Oh, baby, that is big-time stuff. Amon-Ra St. Brown had to go up to get it, and he did it.
Here's Garoppolo, pick it up on third down. Jimmy back. Jimmy going to throw for the end zone. George Kittle took it away. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Kittle down the middle, baby. Walker under center, takes the snap, hands off Deontay Foreman, right side, big hole, he's got the 30, rumbling across the 40, thunders across midfield, big fella's chugging, 25-20, down the right sideline, deep into Buccaneer territory. McCollum finally got him, but not before a huge gain, the biggest run of the season for Deontay Foreman.
Delayed handoff to Jacobs, huge hole up the middle, 10, cuts right side 5, touchdown Jacobs. The hat trick in the
Tom?
His third rushing touchdown of the day. And the Raiders go up 2 scores, 30-20 with 7:06 to go in the ball game.
Hang out in the Bettor Zone for a better NFL game day experience.
So Holden Kushner hanging out with you today. Thomas Casale is here. Thomas Casale and I did a show, about 4 years ago? I don't even know the name of the show, but it doesn't matter really. I've tried to get in touch with Thomas over the last 4 years. He has avoided me like the plague. And finally, he's forced to sit here with me for the next 4 hours. So wonderful to see you, Mr. Casale. How the hell are you? How have you been? I don't need to know about the last 3 or 4 years, but what's up, pal?
I'm doing okay. I'm 4-4 betting games the last 24 hours, Holden, and the 4 losses, I've a touchdown in the final minute has beaten me. So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Well, I'm here in Denver, and I'm absolutely shocked the Broncos won. I'm not shocked the game went under. Broncos game going to the under, so that was a nice start this morning. Latavius over. Before we get into the slate,
I'm not shocked that Trevor Lawrence sucks, because he sucks. I'm done. I mean, it's been 2 years. He's showing no signs of getting better. He's the type of guy. I mean, even when I watch Justin Fields, I see some things. Well, geez, if this goes right and that goes right, he might be. I don't see anything from Trevor Lawrence. No pocket presence whatsoever. I think that organization is going to be starting over soon.
What's your best bets today, Thomas Casale? You got anything for us?
So, I have over A.J. Brown, 68.5 yards, and I went with the Dolphins minus 3.5. That number closed around 4. Sometimes I think the values with the favorite, Tua's second game back. I don't know how Detroit's defense is going to stop that offense. So those are the 2 things I got going today. Well, what do you got?
I got so much, dude. Devontae over. This is only one site. 83.5 yards. I know it's a big number. I'm going there, though. I took a stab on a Derrick Henry, 155 yards and a touchdown at like 5-something, which was just terrific, but that's just a stab. I don't think Hurts gets the 20 completions. I got him at under 19.5 completions. So there's another one that I got. There's a whole bunch, man. And then I'm a huge live bettor. So you and me will be betting some live games today.
Yeah.
What else I like early? And I used them in a teaser. I like the and I took the Broncos plus 8.5 and the Panthers plus 10.5. I think the Panthers going to hang in there today.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they'll hang in.
That's an interesting game because it's the Falcons can actually be in first place. I'm stunned. I'll be honest. It's hard to shock me because I've been following sports for over 3 decades. But if you told me like the Falcons and the Seahawks could be in first place midway through the season, I'd have laughed in your face. I just did not see that at all.
All right. Well, and then I look at this Dolphins game here. I don't remember the number I got on Waddle. It was 60-something. But everybody always talks about Tyreek Hill, and he's amazing. But on any given day, I think Waddle is every bit as talented. He's not as fast. He's a better route runner. He's got every bit as good of hands. At any week, Waddle can outproduce Hill. I like Waddle over yards this week. I don't remember.
Yeah, I like that one. I agree with you. I drafted him in all my fantasy drafts. Everyone was going Hill. I think Waddle is a fantastic receiver, and against that Lions secondary, I think he has a big game.
So any game you got on right now that you're really focusing on is Marcus Mariota completely just airs one out, and it got intercepted. So that's good. All right, interception. We like it. Let's go, Panthers. Let's have a good day.
I'm just watching the red zone. For some reason, I'm seeing the Bears in orange jerseys and the Cowboys in blue jerseys. It's kind of freaking me out. But other than that, now you're not going to be like 45 minutes ahead of me like Ronas, are you?
You know what I do for this show? In all seriousness, for this show, I turn on, because I'm not in my place where I got all my TVs. I got a TV with Red Zone on regular cable, but I'll stream the game on Sunday Ticket. So how about I do that? All right.
Okay.
So here's the 4 games I got up, and I probably should just get off of Red Zone and go to the Philly-Pittsburgh game, because that's not on here. But I got the Cardinals up there right now with the Vikings. I think that'll be a fun game. Looking forward to seeing what Hopkins can do again, and Jefferson. So we got 2 great receivers. I got the Raiders and the Saints. Josh Jacobs has been on another level recently. And then we got Miami and Detroit's the other game I got up, and not because Detroit's any good, just because I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He just made that was Khalif Raymond. This is going to be a shootout, dude. I got the over too.
I see Detroit's driving. I'm going to be in the unique situation of getting screwed by both Nathaniel Hackett and Dan Campbell on the same day.
Stop it. Don't bring bad mojo, Casale. We don't need bad mojo on this show. Come on, man.
No, you're right. It's going to be a shootout. I mean, it's I think the Detroit's offense hasn't scored a touchdown since October 2nd.
I won't tell you what happened then.
Well, I'm sure they score a touchdown here. Yeah, I see them down there.
I can't tell you what happens on Red Zone, right? You don't want to know beforehand. So let me go switch the TV, and I'll go put the other game on during the break when we go to our.
There we go. Who's that? Jamal Williams? Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we're on. You got what we're on. I'm a huge live bettor, Casale. I'll be getting in some of these. I wrote down Daniel Jones rushing yards is something I'll be looking at later today. I want to get a little bit of get that number down a little bit. So that's one. CeeDee Lamb is another guy. Unfortunately, it looks like Dak. I think this Cowboys offense is going to go bananas. What do you think of Tony Pollard today?
He
should go nuts.
Yeah, he should have a huge game against this Bears rush defense. I'm starting him in a couple leagues, obviously, with Zeke out. But yeah, I'm hoping that there he goes right now. I'm hoping the Cowboys they beat the Lions pretty good last week, but the offense took a while to get going, with Dak coming back. I think we should see a big jump. With the Dolphins and the Cowboys, you should see a bigger jump than what we saw last week from those two offenses.
Okay.
Look at that hole that Pollard. You could drive a truck through that thing.
I'm going to have to look at his live Russian receiving yards, because you got to think today. I think he's going to flirt with 150.
Yeah,
I think he flirts with 150 today. Yeah,
especially if they get a lead.
Yeah, well, I think that's about that.
Yeah, there's somebody who's not Tony Pollard running the ball.
Now you're a Chicago guy, and are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, I've been a Cowboys fan since the 70s.
No, I'm not good Cowboys. I don't like Cowboys, but I don't care. All I want them to do is make us money, right? We don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't really care. It's
wide open Michael Gallup in the end zone.
I'm not I don't go out to sports bars wearing a Tony Dorsett jersey.
You don't?
No, I only care about money. That's all I care about. So if the Cowboys were to win the Super Bowl, I'd be happy, but I'm more interested in my bets.
Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson with a little 28-yard catch, and the Vikings are moving. They are now right near the red zone, and then the Saints are punting. So we've got a couple of quick punts here with the Raiders and the Saints. Not much going on. But going to this Dolphins game, oh, my God, Dak Prescott just ran it in for a touchdown. Is that going to kill you that I just did that?
No.
Okay. So
I know a lot of people like the Cardinals today, the smart guys. I don't know, man. I think the Vikings might take him behind the woodshed.
Behind the woodshed today. That's it. I had a really interesting conversation. By the way, I won't be looking at you very much. I got all my setup to my left. So don't worry about it. I'm definitely listening. But I'm looking at this here, and I'm saying the Cardinals like the blitz. And Cousins is not good against the blitz. But on the other side, it's a 1:00 game. And 1:00 does not like Kirk Cousins. He loves 1:00.
Yeah.
It's a battle of I didn't know which way to go in this game, so I kind of faded it. I know you hate DFS. I played a ton of DFS with this, but that's about it. Outside of this game, I don't have a good feel for either side.
So how many lineups you got going today?
Probably like 12. Probably 12. Now you said you don't like it because it's pros versus pros, right? I'll be honest.
I mean, I'm just not good enough to play it. You know, it's not one of those things where you know you have to get lucky if you're. So I don't put the time and I don't have the spreadsheets going, and so you know it's not fun to to make 60 cents.
You don't like making 60 cents? Like
No.
legitimately 60 cents?
I don't know. Like that's like I would put in a lineup and win like $1.
Kirk Cousins rushing touchdown. 3 rushes for Kirk Cousins, and he's got 21 yards and a touchdown. So if you had Kirk Cousins leading things in the early slate today, ding, 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 you're a winner because Kirk Cousins is running all over Arizona. I wonder if this game gets into a shootout now. You think it's not? You think it's going to be a blowout, huh? I wonder.
No, I think the Cardinals will score some. I'm just saying I wasn't overly impressed with their win against the Saints. I mean, the Saints offense is injured and they still move the ball on them. I'm not a believer in this Cardinals defense, so I think they're going to have all kinds of trouble stopping Minnesota today.
Come on, Miami, Detroit, get this goddamn game up here. Enough already. So Arizona, Minnesota opened at 48, closed at 48.5. Right now it's at 51.5. That's something. And I want to say hi to everybody. So Thomas, Holden here. Hit us up in the chat if you want to say hello. You can call us. There's also a button called the fun button. It's the thumbs up thing. Some people call it the like. We have great personalities here, so we call it the fun button. Hit the fun button. Hit us up in the chat. We'd love to see that. What are you seeing right now? What are you doing? Touchdown?
A.J. Brown got a big play.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
That's I got 68.5 on that. I don't know what he's at.
I mean, Pittsburgh is legit the worst defensive team against the pass. One of the two worst against the pass. So that was a great play. That
was my master theory on the bet. Is that so he's got 48. I need 21 yards.
Oh, that's over. That's over. No, nothing's over till it's over.
Yeah.
Nothing is over till it's over. Now, are you playing fantasy season long redraft stuff?
Yeah.
All right. What do we got today? What's on the docket for redraft?
Well, I have Dak, so that started out well. I have Pollard. You know, my fantasy guys usually are in the tank, but I have Jamar Chase, so that's a blow to the Casali fantasy lineup. But I do have your boy Devontae Adams too, so that you took over with.
Devontae Adams over. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're on the same page there. We're rooting that one home.
That AJ Brown bet was just a brilliant one. It really was. I feel like I bet it, but I can't find it, so I must not have bet it. But my God, you go back there. That's 2 catches for him. I got to make sure Jalen Hurts doesn't throw it too much. So hopefully he catches like 2 more really quickly, and then Hurts throws it 8 times a game. Hey, seriously, are there any bets that you keep going back to that you're seeing trends like going back to week after week after week? For me, it's Marcus Mariota under the passing attempts and completions. I didn't do it this week. I guess I just went elsewhere. It's surprising. But any bets that you really just look at, you open it up and go, okay, this is what we're going to do. Also, I got Gesicki over 2.5 receptions. We'll see if that cashes today. Most of it was 66.5.
Yeah, the one I didn't take it today because Swift is back, but I thought Jamal Williams' rushing attempts has been undervalued, was undervalued for a couple of weeks, and he went way over those. So that was one. And I know Ronis always likes the Barkley over longest rush. He didn't get that last week, but that's been pretty successful. And he also likes the Nick Chubb over longest rush. He's been betting those quite a bit. So we've been rooting those home. And then I feel like someone here should bet the Patriots because Corey has the Patriots every week for some god unknown reason. But I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I got him on a look-ahead line at -1.
Oh, did you?
So we'll see. I mean, I got him at -1. We'll see what happens in this game. really, we didn't have too much. We had a little bit of movement during the week, but where is it sitting right now? Let's go see. Patriots +3. So the Jets must be charging a little bit. And that's what we got going on right now, folks. Not too much to report. Do you want to talk about – let's talk about this early game in London real quick. You mentioned that you're not a Trevor Lawrence guy. I'm not ready to give up on him yet, but 2 guys for fantasy. Travis Etienne just doesn't stop. 156 yards, a touchdown, 3 catches, 6 yards. So for those of you that hung on to Etienne,
yeah, baby,
you're leading the board right now. And then Russell Wilson is just – he's totally washed. He threw a touchdown today. But going forward, who's in a better spot for the next couple of years, Casale? The Broncos or the Jaguars?
Well, I think the Broncos are going to make a coaching change at some point here. Whether it's at the end of the season or whatever. And then you look at their talent level, they still have talent. Mm-hmm. So I would go with the Broncos. I wasn't a Nathaniel Hackett fan from the start. I didn't think he deserved the head coaching job. You're in Denver. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. I kind of feel they thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers.
100%.
Okay. That's it. So that makes more sense. You were going to bring Rodgers guy in. You were going to get Rodgers. But since that didn't work out, you got the new ownership. I think they make a coaching change. And then I think they'll probably be fine.
But when is the question?
A lot of injuries. Huh?
Like, are you going to fire him after 10 games? Like, Urban Meyer even lasted 13.
No, I think he's going to last the season. Yeah. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, and then I think they're going to reevaluate everything. And so, yeah, no, I don't know if he would have gotten fired if I know reports come out. Sometimes I think reports are just trying to add 2 and 2 together. You know, like a lot of times if your team's struggling after the London game, teams will make a move. I don't know if the Broncos were going to make a move there. To be honest with you, I don't know. I never really buy into that stuff because, okay, let's say they don't go on that final drive and lose, right? What's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, one drive's coming down to if this guy has a job or not. Yeah. He's either your coach or he isn't. I don't know what one drive does there. So I think he lasts the year. For Jacksonville, here's the thing, like I try not to be too hard on young quarterbacks, but I also want to, like, even when Troy Aikman was a rookie and was playing terrible, you could see things that, like, you could see throws and him reading defenses that said, once he has 2 seconds to throw the ball, he might be something. I'm just not seeing it from Lawrence. He looks he in the pocket. He's all fidgety. He doesn't look like he's seeing the field. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be good, but I would take the Broncos long-term over the Jaguars.
Okay. So here we go. Garrett Wilson, 54-yard catch from Zach Wilson. Unfortunately for the Jets, they had a pass deflected in the end zone. The other Wilson had to throw it away, and they just kicked a field goal. So an early 3-0 lead here for the Jets over the Patriots. And then I just saw Tanner Connor, of all people. Why is Tanner Connor touching the ball for the Dolphins? He just fumbled in Detroit, in the Detroit zone.
That's interesting. You know why? Because I don't know who Tanner Connor is.
Oh.
So I agree. I don't like guys on good offenses that I don't know touching the ball. So I'm with you.
I don't know why they're doing that. Couple of things here. We got Waddle at 2 catches and 13 yards already. So we just look at the quick leaderboard, early leaderboard. AJ Brown's been targeted 3 times. He got 2 catch, 48 yards, and a touchdown. So Casale has got to be absolutely thrilled about that. Thrilled about it. Tony Pollard, 42 combined yards. He's got a catch for 16, 4 carries for 26 yards. And what happened with Dak there? I thought he ran it in for a touchdown, didn't he? It was Prescott. Yeah. He ran it in for a touchdown. So you got that. Did you like Barry Switzer, by the way?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I was an Oklahoma and Cowboy fan as a kid. I mean, in college, sure, he was fine, but that's one of those things. I think that's the worst thing that ever happened to the Cowboys organization, because Jerry was trying to prove a stupid point, which is still stupid, that any coach could coach that team, and they win the Super Bowl with Switzer. They haven't been the same since. Listen, the analytics people, if you're younger, you might not remember. Switzer went for it on, remember the Eagles game when he went for it in his own territory, and he didn't get it. And then there was, they called it, the play didn't count, and he went for it again and didn't get it. So Switzer, the dumbest guy on earth, mistakenly did analytics years before it became popular.
Yeah, except he didn't. Yeah. Did he do it? I think he did it on accident.
Yeah, Switzer's one of those guys. Listen, guys like that are great college coaches, right? He's like, if he comes into your living room to recruit you, you probably want to play for him. But as you know, Holden, coaching the NFL is really, really hard. There's only a few guys who, and I think it's really hard for college coaches to come in because it's just a different kind of game and different atmosphere.
TJ Hawkinson, 58-yard reception.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's really sticking it to me today. I should have known this was coming.
Don't worry. Actually, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to back the Dolphins.
We'll back the Dolphins live.
Yeah, we'll back them live. Hopefully, they'll go down 14-0 to see what that number is. Miami was moving the ball very, very easily on that drive till they decided to make Tanner Conner part of the game plan.
Is he now? Is he a running back?
I thought he was a fullback. Okay,
so they giving the ball to the fullback.
Fullback, tight end, kind of hybrid guy, right? Let me see. Let me get you the lowdown. He is a tight end. He's a tight end.
Oh, okay.
So you got Gesicki, and then you go and you give that guy the football. I mean, again, whatever. So you got that going on. We've got Carolina deep into Atlanta territory. They're going to end up kicking a field goal, though. And again, Detroit has the ball inside the 10 on a 3rd and 5. I really hope they score a touchdown here. I don't think I'll even back the there's a touchdown, DeAndre Swift. So Swift gets in the box. That's interesting. Okay. So it'll be 14-0 Lions in all likelihood, Casale. I'm not going to tell you what they're going to set the line at. I got a number in my head. What number would you take? I'm going to write it down in this piece of paper, and we'll see if we're on the same path here.
Yeah, that's 14-0. How much time's left? 5 minutes?
Yeah, about 5 minutes left. First half, yeah.
I would take Miami anything over +4, like in the +4, 5, 6 range.
Really?
Something like that.
They were 3.5-point favorites. I wrote 7.5. I don't think I'm going to get that.
Yeah, I thought you were asking like what I thought it was going to be.
Like since that touchdown just went. What did you think?
So yeah, I think it'll be +5 or 6.
Okay, because it was just 4.5 when they were at the 20 or so, and then we got. What'd you say? You didn't have enough CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, did you catch one?
Touchdown.
Good. The cow. It was 50-50. I thought the Cowboys and Miami would look better this week. So the Cowboys look pretty good. Miami's struggling, throwing a 4th-string tight ends.
All right, we got the Dolphins +5, 5.5. I like that hook. All right, let's do that. Dolphins +5.5. Put a half unit down on that, and let's go sweat that game. I already got the over. Now we're gonna go with Dolphins +5.5. What do you make of that bet, Casale? You want to talk me off the ledge?
No, I like it. The Lions, that they've given up leads for 2 years, right? They that's their problem. They get out to leads, and then other team comes back on them. So I think Miami's offense will get rolling here at some point. So I like that bet. 5.5
is kind of a bizarro line too, right? I mean, you'd rather have the 6, but
yeah.
The Dolphins they're +185 in the money line too. I mean, that's the other thing. And let me go look at the updated total. 59.5, my friend. So I got a nice 51.5 there. Let's come back, take a break. If you got a chance, say hey to us in the comments. What are you sweating today? Maybe we'll sweat it with you with the best bet. He's Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner. And this is the Bettor Zone.
Bettor Zone.
Nick Durst here, live from MetLife Stadium before the New York Jets and New England Patriots game. And behind me, you see a really intense game of beer pong going on. So why don't we walk over there and see what's going down in that game. Here we go, walking over here. This girl's having a good time. Are you having fun playing beer pong right
Yes, we are having a lot of fun.
now? All right, so you got the White Claws going here. So how you liking this beer pong game?
Am I liking the beer pong game? It's great. Vibes are high. Weather's beautiful. It's a great day for a Pats game.
All right, so what do you expect from the game today from the Patriots?
First, we're expecting to win the pong game, and then we're expecting the Pats to do the same.
So no days off, just nothing but winning.
Yes. You should record this shot. You should.
All right, here we go. Big shot upcoming here. Let's see that. And she missed. Let's go to the other competition here. So we're here with some more Patriots fans.
Hey, how's it going?
So how's it going? How's this beer pong game going right now?
It's going good. We're 1-0, and our backs are against the wall here in Game 2, but we're confident. We think we're going to come back.
So what do you think Bill Belichick's strategy would be in a beer pong game?
I don't know. Cut every teammate that's not fucking a winner.
All right, so there you have it. A lot of tense things going on here at this game. What do you think about the Patriots today? They're gonna bounce back?
I think the Patriots can pull it off today. I think it's a good Jets team, but I got Zappy fever, and I think you should talk to this guy over here.
All right, I think Zappy should probably start as well. So we'll go here over the beer pong game. We'll see how this works out. What are you expecting here from the rest of this beer pong game and also the game today?
So these guys, if you didn't know, are brothers. I got my money on Big Bro, of course. I'm a big brother myself, so at the end of the day, big brothers always win.
All right, so good analysis there. You might have a future in this, analyzing beer pong games. So a lot's going on here at this tailgate. We also have some more great activities here, and we have a nice little cornhole game going on. So we'll watch this next shot, and he delivers it. Oh, and just a bit wide. And we'll talk to him about that shot to get a breakdown.
Yeah, he started off pretty strong. He's come back. I'm not playing too well right now.
Uh-oh. We'll talk to the competition real quick. We'll see what he has to say about the rest of this cornhole game. What's going to happen?
I let him get ahead early. I'm a lot better than he is, so, you know,
All right,
take care of business right
and
now.
we'll end it here with one of your shots. So we'll see here. We'll get another bean. Let's see if he can make it in. Wow. What a way to end the video. So here at MetLife Stadium, cornhole going on, beer pong going on, fans still coming in, Patriots fans very excited. So once again, for Bettor Sports Network, live from MetLife Stadium, I'm Nick Durst.
Got the fullback in there. Hand at the corner. Squeezes through. To the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos. And Denver takes their first lead of the day. They hand it off to Latavius Murray. Murray with second effort into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver. Russell Wilson goes down on one knee with both fists clenched.
We want to hear what you're sweating on NFL game day. Get into the Bettor Zone on Bettor Sports Network.
Thomas Casale there. Unidentified area where? In the Chicagoland area? Is that where we are today?
No, I'm from upstate New York.
Oh, you're in upstate New York. That's right. You always sounded like you're from Chicago, though. So I guess I always thought you were from Chicago, Casale.
No, I'm unfortunately a New York guy.
We got Alvin Kamara, who is either in the end zone or stopped right at the goal line. So Vegas and the Saints scoreless. Welcome into the Bettor Zone, by the way. Did they give him the touchdown? They did give him the touchdown. Alvin Kamara, touchdown. So we're finally on the board there. 6-0 Saints over the Raiders. Extra point is pending. The Patriots driving. They're down 3-0. The Jets had the ball inside the 10 of the Patriots, had to settle for a field goal. They had first down inside the 10. The Lions have gone up 14-0. Hockenson with a 58-yard catch and run. Tyreek just made a big catch, and it's 14-0 Lions. 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. And again, a live bet. I'm not going to say it's a show bet because Casale did not say it's a show bet, but I took the Dolphins plus 5.5 on a live line there. So that's the first.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I could say it's a show bet.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much.
The little trickery from the Steelers on 4th and goal too. reverse pass from Claypool.
Who scored?
Some guy I've never seen or heard of in my life.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's that kind of day, I guess.
A guy you've never seen or heard of in your life scored a touchdown.
I think he was number 44. Probably backup tight, 8th string tight end. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's probably got 7 fullbacks. He's probably a fullback.
I think a lot of people this week were on the Eagles to blow them out, and right now they're hanging in there. Oh, look who it is! Derek Watt, one of the Watt boys.
Oh, it's Derek. Okay, yeah, I didn't see the name on
it.
There you go.
Hey,
Derek Watt.
If anybody is sweating anything, you got any live bet ideas, you want to just talk to us, maybe you're lonely and you need someone to talk to, Thomas Casale is here for you folks. He would love to hear your deepest, darkest secrets, whether it be about sports or life. So hit us up in the comments, hit the like button. We'd love that too. Let's see. We got the
Holden, do you bet college football?
I don't. You're the I know you're a huge college guy. Tom, I think I told you this, but it was a long time ago. I had to make a choice. Do I hang out with my kids on Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
And Saturday.
I hear that, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, the big one next week, Georgia opened up 9.5 over Tennessee.
Man. I don't mind hearing lots of college. Let's go.
No, I'm just saying that's a big one, a big number on that. Georgia at home, 9.5-point favorite. If you bet college, if you like Tennessee, I'd hit it as early as possible because that number is going to come down, be about 7.5 pretty soon. I would guess.
The Bettor boss has a ton of Tua. Dave Poland, Broncos country. Let's ride, baby. Settle down, Dave Poland. Settle down, my friend. You know what? It was nice to get off the schneid, wasn't it? Did you see those guys in the first half? Russell Wilson is just a complete disaster. Has anybody ruined his image more this season, since the start of the season, since Russell Wilson? Between the losing, the poor play, the knee-high kicks in the airplane.
The high knees. We do that in youth football before the game. Okay, high knees. Let's go.
Tell me, what player in the NFL's stock has dropped more than Russell Wilson? He was the savior here. He was the savior.
You make me sick.
Well, you're closer to that. Listen, I'm not saying Nathaniel Hackett isn't a good guy. I mean, he's probably a hell of a nice person. Coach. I mean, yeah, Jason Garrett's a hell of a nice guy. I'd like him to watch my kids. I wouldn't want him to coach my football team, though. But is there anything there between those two? Is there any issues there between the coach and the quarterback, or is it just Wilson not playing?
I just don't think they're on the same page is the problem. Like Hackett goes, I'm going to build this offense around Russell Wilson. He doesn't have to go around my system. And now the system is basically so stripped down. It's we do the Tecmo Bowl sounder. You could literally do the 6 plays on Tecmo Bowl, and that's what they run. They run a dump off to a running back. They'll run, something to Judy, something to Sutton, and then they'll run 3 different ways.
Right. There's no imagination.
No imagination. Yeah. Dave Poland, this does not make me uncomfortable at all. Dave Poland, I'm a straight man. I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to say Holden is an extremely good-looking man. It would be awesome if other people thought
yeah, baby.
Dave, it would be awesome. But thank you very much for that. I would say,
yeah. I mean, I would be worried if Poland said that I'm a good-looking man. Then we got issues here. We got problems.
So it looked like Detroit got off the field to force a field goal for the Dolphins inside the 15. There was a flag down, and hopefully that extends the drive because again, the show bet we're on Miami plus 5.5. How much live bet you do, Casale?
I do a little bit. I do more in college because I think college you can rattle off points and you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a good team and you go down 7, a perfect example the last couple of weeks been TCU. TCU goes down every game, ends up covering the real spread. So if you can get TCU down, I mean things like that. So I do a little bit more of it in college. I'm a selective NFL bettor. I make most of my money in college basketball, college football. I bet NFL, but it's more player props. And if I see an angle on a game, it just is so damn hard to beat. I mean, even pro bettors don't make their money on NFL. It's really, really tough.
Touchdown, Jalen Waddle So our boy Waddle.
There we go.
Let's
there we go.
go.
We're back in.
Waddle.
We're back in business, baby. We're back in business.
Yeah. So I need Waddle. I need Waddle yards over 68.5. We got a touchdown. We need Miami here. So Miami's on the board. It's 14-6. Detroit on top. We need over 51.5. The points are coming in this. Casale, I think we're halfway through the season this week. 8 of the 18 weeks. Oh, almost halfway through the season.
Yeah.
There's just certain
the old
things.
days, we would have been
certain
halfway.
things, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that when I look at the lines, I say, okay, if it's a Detroit game, I'm probably going to bet the over. I'm going to look for ways for it to go to the under, but I'm probably going to bet the over. Marcus Mariota, same thing. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. It happens all the time. So there's just certain things that I look at, and I don't know if that's a smart way to do it. Because you're using something that happened as biased, but to this point, it seems to be working out.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own strategy, right? On how they bet. I always tell people all the time, hey, whatever works for you, do it. It's kind of like, listen, in the old days, I used to be a personal trainer, and people would come in thinking there was only one way to work out, right? And I no, you got to find what works for you and your lifestyle. There's plenty of ways to lose weight and work out properly. There's not one style. And I think betting's just like that. It took me years to figure out the right style for me. There's a few bookies back from the late 90s still looking for me. So I had some tough runs as a youngster growing up, but you figure the stuff out. That's why, Holden, I don't know what you think about it. We talk about this on the show a lot, but I don't really care what the public and the sharps are betting. I just don't. I understand it's an interesting little nugget that people put out there, but I don't think it impacts the game. So that's something I don't really look at much.
What I do, Thomas, and this is a thing I've probably been doing about just the last 3 years or so. I'm usually up at till about 3 or 4 in the morning on a Sunday. Like this morning, I'll stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning to get the opening lines just to see where they drop, right? Mm-hmm. And if I see a ton of money coming in on a side, at least I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Like, okay, the guys that know what they're doing, and I will
are on something.
Like I hit the Broncos bets on the under just about every day, every time I can get it on a Monday morning,
Right.
I mean, it was at 42.5 and it's down to 39. So I actually do use the quote unquote sharp money that comes in as Justin Fields runs in for a touchdown. But to me, after Monday, that sharp money doesn't do anything for me.
Right.
I'm just the immediate, that the people that know what they're doing are putting a ton of money behind it, the syndicates, correct?
Right. Yes. And we know, listen, I could tell you who the public's going to be on every week. I mean, I don't think that's a shocking, you know what I mean? Listen, is Patrick Mahomes an underdog? Public's going to be on that. You know what I mean? Duke basketball, public. Notre Dame football, public. Tom Brady, public. Cowboys, public. I mean, it's not that shocking to me. But, yeah, no, I'll give you a perfect example. I took Cincinnati against UCF yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I lost in the final seconds. But I took Cincinnati early. Right as soon as it came out, and the number moved against me early. So I knew the sharp guys were against me. So what I'll do is I'll go back in to see, did I miss something here? Because the smart guys are against me. And so I'm with you. I do look at that early betting and where the number's going, but I just don't care about the percentages. 80% are on this and 20% are on that. It doesn't impact the football game whatsoever.
Dave Pullen has $1,000 on Tony Pollard over 102.5 rushing and receiving. Oh God, yes. We were just talking about that at the top, and I'm really not flattered by you think I'm handsome, but I do want to talk about this bet here for a second because he's got 4 carries for 25 yards against a Bears defense that can't stop the run. I think he's got a catch for 16 yards too. I think what we're looking at with Pollard today is explosive plays. We got a 16-yard catch and a 17-yard run, and I absolutely love that 102.5. And
he's sitting pretty. I mean, I know the Bears were driving here, but especially the way this game's going, if the Cowboys have a lead in the second half. Oh, they did score.
Yeah, it's 14-7. And I think that actually bodes well because you'll get chunk plays from Pollard out of the backfield.
Yeah.
As a Cowboy fan, do you think Tony Pollard could handle the workload as a bell cow every single week, or does it have to be the way it is?
I don't know if I'd want him to be a 20-touch guy. I think it's obviously we all know why it's the way it is with Zeke because they gave him that ridiculous contract that everyone on earth knew it was ridiculous the second he signed it, and that's not Monday morning quarterbacking. Nobody liked that contract. and that's a Jerry Jones thing. But I think he can handle more than what he's getting. And listen, everyone can see it. It's just a difference. I don't know if Zeke signed the contract. I don't, but he's not that same explosive player he was at Ohio State in his first couple years in the league. And I always say this, Holden. I know you've been around NFL teams. I've been around NFL teams. If we know it, the locker room knew it for a month. You know what I'm saying? Like the players know. They're not stupid. So, yeah, I would like to see him get more touches personally.
You're ahead of the number 2, Dave, by the way. It's at 116.5. You got 102.5. You're way ahead of the number. So good job. Let's root it home for you. Okay, let's take another break. Top of the hour, Simon Greneville. He is the Front Yard fantasy host, joining us at the top of the hour. Tyler Conklin, 8-yard touchdown catch. He's alive. I thought he went away when Joe Flacco went away. All right, that's not good for my Patriots bet. And then the other thing is we're going to do our first leaderboard of the day. He's Thomas Casale. His word is golden. My name's Holden. Oh, no, that just rhymed poorly. Anyway, stick around. More in the Bettor Zone. Hit the like button, the fun button. It's good, too.
Bettor Zone. It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Moose and Keith with you. Let's welcome aboard right now, Iron Eagle. One of the great stories that I have from doing notes on a plane, and you always get people looking over. They see color-coded uniform numbers, names, height, weight, age, background, hometown. And I had a woman sitting next to me on a flight, and I'm doing my notes, and she's kind of giving the look, then looking. And I can tell she's looking. And then finally, she'll say, so what is it that you do? Well, what do you think I do? She said, are you a wedding planner? I said, yes. I said, I have to put Rob Gronkowski at Tom Brady's table. I said, you know what? You're not correct, but it's the best answer I've ever heard.
That's great. Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
As far as fantasy executive, a football life to fantasy executive is probably going to be the best football life ever.
We'll be the guest, everyone who was on yesterday, basically.
Yeah, everybody that's on yesterday will be the guest. Scott Ingram, you know what I'm saying? Adam Ronis. Yeah, everybody, those people. Because what Nando, obviously you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the GST and shoot some scenes. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
We'll shoot some scenes in Midtown Manhattan. Antonio Brown can be on my football life,
That'd
right?
be nice.
Because that's a big part of my come up as a fantasy analyst. Everybody, the football life, the fantasy executive is going to be for the people. When they do the football life on the fantasy executive, I'm going to be hands on.
Good. Yeah. You talking to you.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Cheetos or Doritos?
I truly love both. Cool Ranch Doritos. Wow. I grew up on Cheetos. I was a big Chester Cheetah guy.
Oh, nice.
But Ray, as I have aged into adulthood, I've moved away from the fun that is the Cheeto, and I've gone to the, more cosmopolitan Cool Ranch Dorito chip. So I'm probably a Cool Ranch guy. How about you?
I would go Doritos. I don't like Cool Ranch. The traditional, original, regular, whatever it is really good. But my favorite's actually Sweet Chili, the purple bag. Oh, delicious. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The one that sucks, and I think we can all agree on this one, taco.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, and I'm perfect at a lot of things. My Dorito trivia is a little shaky.
Okay.
A little shaky. But I think taco is the first flavor.
First and goal from the Miami 7. Goff turns, gives to Jamal, follows his blockers inside the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 3rd and 5 from the Miami 7. Goff's got it back, looks, throws, caught. DeAndre Swift, end zone, touchdown.
Tyreek Hill in the backfield, Joe. Back to throw. Tua looking. There he goes. A touchdown, Waller.
We want to hear what you're sweating on NFL game day. Get into the Bettor Zone on Bettor Sports Network.
All right, Holden Kushner, Thomas Casale. You heard a whole bunch of play-by-play there. I got some play-by-play for you. Can we get a ding, ding, ding for Casale's prop already cashing? A.J. Brown we're doing a leaderboard right now, and Casale had A.J. Brown over receiving yards. What was it, 78.5?
The 68.5.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he leads all scorers right now, 20.4 fantasy points. He's got 4 catches, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns for A.J. Brown. So he's going bananas. Jalen Waddle, 4 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown. He's got 9 points. And Garrett Wilson of the Jets, how about this? The kid has 3 catches for 87 yards. So he's having a big one. And Tyreek Hill has 7 points. He's got 3 catches and 70 yards. Tony Pollard just got into the end zone. Mr. Casale.
We're rolling.
Yeah,
our bets are rolling today.
Yeah. So here's the deal. ATN is leading all rushers, 22.2 points. So let me make sure we get the PPR up there because people play. You don't play anything but PPR, do you? I like half PPR.
No, I don't play the old style.
All right, good. ATN leads the way, 25.2, and now Pollard is jettisoned. He's not jettisoned. He jetted up the board. He's got 13.7 PPR. He's got 51 yards rushing and a touchdown, another catch for 16 yards. 13.7. This guy's going bananas. We all know he's better than Zeke, Casale. The only problem is we just don't know if he could stay together for a full year. It's the size, huh?
Yeah, and he didn't get that kind of volume in college, so it's kind of an unknown. I mean, people didn't think Tiki Barber could handle that, and he did later on in his career after he split time. So you don't really know until you give the guy the ball that many times. But I agree with you. Pollard's an explosive play guy. What about those 3rd and 2s? Is he the guy for that? We don't really know because he hasn't been in that role yet. But in terms of explosive plays, I mean, he's one of the best in the NFL.
Ramondre Stevenson is 10th, 8.2 PPR points, 21 yards rushing, 3 catches on 3 targets for 31 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown with a huge catch. Was that Khalif Raymond or Ramon? That was Amon-Ra St. Brown catching a bomb just moments ago. The Lions have 1st and goal inside the 5, and that's Amon-Ra has 2 catches for 27 yards. That was a 21-yard grab, and if it was any good, he would have scored a touchdown. But he didn't, and that's where we stand right now. Doing a little leaderboard here. I don't know what's going on with Davante Adams, but he's got 1 rushing yard, one minus 1 rushing yard. So I don't know what's happening with Davante right now, but that is not a good sign.
No, that is not a good sign.
I am backing Davante Adams, and Davante Adams is not backing us. Wow. Okay, what are you going to do? You got any Davante today?
I have him in fantasy.
Let me see here. Davante, illness. That's all they're saying.
He was sick.
Yeah, he had the flu. That's not good news. So, all right. I don't know why you give it to Davante Adams on a 3rd and 1 and not Josh Jacobs, but okay.
I know.
Whatever. So, Lions and Falcons are both in the red zone, by the way. And coming up, the
Lions are taking it to the Dolphins right now.
The Lions. Did they just score again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's they scored. Jamal Williams again.
Oh my God. All right. Those of you have Jamal Williams in fantasy. And now we've got the Falcons with a 1st and goal at the 3 taking on the Panthers. So there was a huge play that just set things up. Mariota actually used his arm and threw the football. And it looks like Kyle Pitts. Yeah, it was Kyle Pitts. There's a Kyle Pitts sighting.
No, that doesn't sound right. You sure?
Yeah, I swear to God it was Kyle Pitts. And it set him up right down there. Now Algier is going to try and stuff it home. So, 21-7 Lions on top of the Dolphins after that touchdown. We're still doing a leaderboard. Let me get to the quarterback. There's not going to be too much going on quarterback-wise. Lamar leading the way from the other night with 21.82. Oh, Dak Prescott's going to be at the top here in a second. He's just 3.5 points behind. Pitts touchdown, by the way. Kyle Pitts, huge catch, setting it up. Kyle Pitts touchdown. But Dak Prescott, 132 yards and a touchdown, plus 2 for 32 on the ground and a touchdown. So he's got 2 touchdowns already, 1 rushing, 18.48. And then as far as tight ends go, I don't know how quickly it's going to update on Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts, I mean, at this point has to be the number 1 after what he just did. Anybody else doing anything tight end wise? I don't think so. No.
I haven't seen. Well, yeah, because the guy for the Dolphins fumbled. The guy that I don't know.
3 for 60 and a touchdown for Pitts. So and this is the breakout. Conklin has a touchdown. He's got 10 PPR points. And that's what we got going on right now. So, and did the Raiders just turn it over again? Oh my God, the Raiders turned it over. Carr is 5'11", 34 yards and an interception. So
man, I was way off on him, Holden. I have a Carr to win MVP ticket somewhere.
Why'd you do that?
I like the Raiders coming into the season. I'll be honest with you. I thought McDaniel was going to be better his second time around. I know, I worked in New England. Maybe that was a bias for me, but I talked to some people who say, he's a really smart guy. He just came into Denver trying to be Belichick, and it didn't work. I know Champ Bailey said he's probably the smartest coach he's ever been around, but the way he came in didn't work with the veterans. So I thought he would learn from those mistakes and be a better coach, but I was wrong, because he is doing a terrible job his second time around. And again, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to find a good NFL head coach who's not one of the 4 that we always talk about. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, it's so damn hard to coach this sport.
What's your take on Belichick without Brady?
I think Belichick's a good coach. I think Belichick gets the most. Listen, I think both of those guys are tied together, right? In my opinion, Belichick is the best defensive mind of my lifetime. The way he can maneuver pieces around and confuse people, that obviously, here's where Belichick is a little weak, is player evaluation. I think he does a good job finding guys on other teams that fit his system. I think he does a bad job finding guys in college that fit his system. And I think that's hurt him. But, listen, Belichick can coach. We know he can. I will say this, though. It's interesting because one of the key pieces of New England's dynasty was a guy called Ernie Adams, who was doing analytics way before analytics was even a word. And he's been with Belichick his entire career, and he is retired recently. So that's the guy, if you ever watched NFL films, it's the only guy Bill talks to in his headset was Ernie. He asks him everything. Okay, what should we do here? What should we do here? So not having him, I think, is a big negative with Belichick, because he's been there with him for 25, 30 years.
All right, let's see here. We got Simon Greneveld from Front Yard Fantasy coming up the top of the hour, about 8 minutes away from that. Have you looked? What do you got in the afternoon slate, my friend? Anything you're looking at right now? We got the Giants visiting Seattle with the Seahawks 3-point favorites. Houston is getting a point at home against Tennessee. Rams and San Francisco now a pick 'em. And Washington at Indianapolis with the Colts -3. Any games in particular that you're looking at here? I find the most interesting game to me is going to be the San Francisco Rams game, just because Debo's out. I'm seeing how much usage McCaffrey gets. Obviously, Shanahan's had McVay's number, but I wonder if today could be a little bit different.
Yeah, Shanahan's interesting to me because remember Tom Coughlin?
Yeah.
Coughlin's teams would sneak into the playoffs. Then they would go on to win Super Bowls. So I thought Tom Coughlin was an okay regular season coach and an excellent postseason coach. Whatever he did in the postseason was great. I think Shanahan's the same way. I think he's okay in the regular season, but once he gets to that postseason is where he's dangerous. That team just has too much talent to keep, sneaking into the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, especially defensively, I think they're as good as anyone in the NFL. The one game, though, I know you said you took a shot at the Derrick Henry prop. I like the Titans even without Tannehill. I don't know how Houston stops that running game. They can't stop anyone on the ground. And if you can't stop Tennessee's rushing attack, you or I could probably play quarterback there because it's going to keep handing the ball off.
Yeah, I also got Willis over 39.5 rushing yards. He should be able to run today. I mean, Listen, these coaches most of them aren't stupid. Most of them.
Well, Vrabel isn't. We know that.
Yeah,
So
Hackett would have Willis throwing 40 times a game. But I think most coaches would realize, all right, we got a rookie here, and the best thing he does is run.
Yeah.
So you would think he'd run a lot. And really,
that's a good play. I kind of like that play. I might put it in.
Yeah.
What is it? Would you get it at 39 and a half?
39 and a half.
Yeah,
that was when it opened when they posted last night.
And you know what else too, Holden? First start, if he's not going to be doing 3-4 reads. If his guy's covered and there's a little pressure, he's going to take off.
Yeah.
I like that play.
Yeah, he's not. Do I need to double down on it now because Casale's in it?
Well, that's definitely we won't be here, but that's definitely a show play.
All right. I'm not gonna.
Hey, maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll get it before we go off the air, or maybe it'll be another AJ Brown. We cash that baby in the first 20
We might
minutes.
get the Dolphins Lions over in beforehand because Tua just hit Waddle for another touchdown, and now Waddle has 5 for 59, so he's getting close to going over his prop of 68 and a half. He's gone for 559 and 2. So what did we say when we came on the air here to Sally? Hey, Waddle could have a better game, but check this out. Tyreek, 5 for 177.
Oh,
Waddle,
really?
5 for 59 and 2. Tua, Mr. Better Boss, 201, 2 touchdowns out of the gate.
Wow.
So
yeah, baby.
We're at 35 points. I am feeling excellent about this over right now.
Yeah, listen, man, we're rolling. I think Corey's bringing the show down with his Patriots bets. That's why we're losing every week. Corey's always complaining.
I'm on the Patriots. I had a look at headline.
That's right. You got the.
But don't worry about it. I didn't tout that.
Corey's always so miserable because he's relying on Mac Jones.
Oh no, that's not good. I mean, a Patriots fan, you had your fun. You're done. Just get over yourself. It's over. So
this Miami defense has to show up at some point.
Do they? They are awful defensively on the road. Is the problem.
I know, but I'm saying they have to show up at some point to win that live bet.
Oh,
we got to get a couple stops here.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
because they'll score all day. We just need a couple of punts.
Right. So I'm in Miami came into this game minus 195 in the money line, plus 162 for the Lions. We're talking a lot of betting. You got any betting questions, comments? That's great. If you want to hit us up with some season-long fantasy questions or even DFS, more than happy. I love getting in touch, sir.
Can I ask you a question, Holden?
What?
I know you're a big DFS guy. I assume that helps you in the player prop market when you're doing your work for
player props more than sides and totals. If I bet 5 sides and totals a week, that'd probably be a lot.
Yeah, and to me, and I know player props is one of the fastest growing markets in the history of betting. And to me, it's kind of like college basketball, right? Like odds makers can't set correct lines for all those teams. It's impossible. And player props, there's all these players all over the place. It's different than setting Cowboys minus 3.5.
Well,
I just think that's where the value is in NFL betting right now.
Pisses me off because I do work for a pretty big sports betting network, not the Bettor network only. And they're just like, player props don't matter. I'm like, what? I said in 3 to 5 years, more people will be betting, not the handle, okay? Just the bets. More people will be betting on player props than they will on sides and totals. Because
and I know
football.
Yeah, and I know that the odds makers agree with you. So I don't know. You better tell your bosses to get with it.
I think people in Vegas, they don't have a very big menu for player props when you're in Las Vegas. So it's like, if it's not in Las Vegas, then it doesn't matter. When really Las Vegas is probably the worst place to bet right now. I don't know. No, I'm serious.
No, I'm with you. Listen, Vegas will always be Vegas. It'll always be the magical betting place. But in terms of just pure betting now, Vegas is just Vegas. I mean, you can bet anywhere. These pro bettors got accounts in like 20 different states. They're trying to lay off bets all over the place with these bad lines. They're not like flying to Vegas with a bag of money anymore.
No, it literally, when I went out there to do shows, it was easily the worst place I've ever been to bet. Like, I'd rather use a legal sports book than go into a sports book and bet in Las Vegas right now. No player. We basically get sides and totals. Those are the only things you can bet there.
Yeah, right.
There's no like. All right,
that's why they're building tall buildings every other day. They're not. They're like, we don't need player props. Yeah. We're good.
It's the worst. It's the worst place to bet that there is. Simon's going to come on here in a second. Simon Grineveld, as we're just watching all these games. Eagles leading the Steelers 14-7. AJ Brown 4 catches, 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle 5 for 59 and 2 touchdowns. Jamal Williams has scored twice, 19 yards rushing, 21-14. Lions over the Dolphins, 11 minutes to play in the first half there. Dalvin, how about this? He's run for 80 yards on 9 carries. I didn't see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we got that 14-3 Vikings over the Cardinals. And that's some of the big stuff right now. And the Jets and the Patriots, it's still 10-3, Jets on top. And the Patriots are deep in their own zone. And then it looks like Mac Jones just ran for a first down. Good job out of you. And a penalty. So the Jets defense kind of folding there. Hey, Simon, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? Thanks so much for having me on. It's,
did I get
fun.
It right? Greneveld? Is it Greneveld?
Better than 99% of people. Grunewald, like a plant grew, and then we go from there.
Grunewald.
They spelled it 3 different ways in my high school yearbook, so you're already well ahead of most people over there.
Well, I was just I'm going to throw our producer under the bus because I love to do that.
That's the ultimate cop-out, right?
Grunewald. All right, Simon Grunewald. Wonderful to see you here. Love the hat, Atari, because Sally and I are actually old enough to where we played Atari. It was you laugh.
Well, I'm laughing because I got this in a throwback 80s box at like a Comic-Con convention where you just paid for a mystery box, and it was a Ready Player One box, so it was all about nostalgia. But yeah, I never played an Atari.
Yeah. Well, I was playing Pong, so I was there in the early days.
Snafu, did you have Intellivision too?
Yeah, I had them all. I had all those early all those early video games.
We didn't have enough money for that, so we only had Atari. And we played, and my buddy had a television. We played Snafu, but basketball was the best game. It was 2 stick figures just going at it, you know?
Yep.
A square ball. What's better than that? Simon, what are you on, man? Are you, I don't know you. I've never talked with you, so I want to know about you. Are you a bettor? Are you a redraft guy, a dynasty guy, a DFS guy? What are you doing?
I'm mostly a season-long guy. Redraft and Dynasty are my 2 main formats that I'm running in. Though playing around with some DFS and player props, but my area of expertise where I spend most of my time is Redraft and Dynasty.
Okay.
Absolutely. And this has been a fun week so far. This Miami Dolphins Detroit Lions game is getting me all sorts of excited for fantasy football right now.
I was supposed to, right? This was supposed to absolutely blow up, and it is. Who are the main pieces that you're excited about from this game? Because we're all over it, and we got the over, and we back to show bet here. We're taking the Dolphins plus 5.5. Live.
I mean, you gotta love Jamal Williams, right? If you still plugged him in, even with DeAndre Swift out there, dude has got to roll, and he's just continuing to score touchdowns. Like he's just doing it week in, week out, even whenever Swift's playing.
What did you think of Dante Foreman coming into this week? He just ran it in for a touchdown. I loved him without Chuba in there with that matchup. Thoughts on Foreman, and really Foreman going forward if Chuba's out for a little bit?
I mean, if Chuba's out, Foreman's in that like RB2 conversation where if he gets that touchdown, he can be an RB1 any given week. It's just volume, right? There's not very many backs that are going to get the level of volume that Foreman's getting, so you got to plug him in. I'm not like married to the talent. I'm not sitting here just like, oh, Deonta Foreman's the most talented running back in the league. But with Chuba out, you got to plug him in week in, week out. He's a great start. Oh, and now I'm seeing the touchdown. My stream's a little behind. Now I'm seeing the Foreman touchdown right there.
So Simon, yeah, I held on to Foreman for weeks, but he's vastly overperforming anything I thought that he would do going in. So I'm happy with that. You mentioned I haven't played much Dynasty, so I wanted to ask you a question. When you're doing Dynasty stuff, are you already looking to the college players for next year?
It depends on how my season's going, right? Like if my season's still exciting, I probably haven't done too much college research at this point. I'm watching the games. I'm keeping track of the big names, like the big guys that are going to be first round rookie picks. I'll start looking at those, but probably in the next 4 or 5 weeks is when I'll deep dive into those guys as we're approaching the back half of this season. Right now, we're still in it. So I'm putting all my time and effort into the players that are playing this year. but you got to have a general idea of who's coming out, because this is the time of year to make those draft pick trades, right? You start trading away assets. If you are the Breece Hall manager and you're going for a title this year, you're probably maybe you want to cash in. Maybe you want to trade Breece Hall away, get some draft picks, get some pieces that can help you out this year ahead of time. But beyond that, like, bit of knowledge, I haven't dove too deep into college players yet.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's
AJ
going
Brown
on?
just scored his third touchdown of the
Another
day.
one?
Thomas Casale should have taken AJ Brown over 300 yards at plus
Yeah,
1,000.
the 68 and a half wasn't even fun. I'm bored to
68 and a half
death.
is his first two catches. Holy moly. Now there's a flag down. It was probably taunting because Brown looked at him and did this, and this. He's probably like, I burned you for a touchdown. I burned you for a touchdown. I burned you for a touchdown twice. Wow. What a day AJ Brown is having. He is now up to 5 catches, 113 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Man, that's a miss I feel so stupid on. You ever have one where, like, I was out on AJ Brown. I was like, I don't know about this Eagles offense. I don't know with Devonta Smith there if he's going to get the same volume we saw. And then now I'm watching, I'm like, you idiot. He's AJ Brown. Like, we knew how good he was. I was aware of the player AJ Brown was. Why the hell wasn't I drafting him everywhere on this Eagles offense? Like what was wrong with me? It's one of those where I just look back and I'm like, you idiot. Of course he's doing this.
Be easier on yourself. Don't call yourself an idiot. Come on, Simon.
What do you think of Devontae? What do you think of Devontae Smith though? Like, obviously AJ Brown's the number one guy there. Smith's kind of been either up or down. In terms of how you start Devontae Smith moving forward, is he a must start every week, or is he kind of like a plug and play now?
Probably somewhere in between the two, right? I imagine there's teams that have good enough wide receivers that they're not playing Devonta Smith every week. But on most teams, I imagine he slots in as a wide receiver 3 or flex play. Like, if you've got enough players on your team where he's not your 4th guy going in that flex spot after 3 wide receivers, you have a killer team. But he'll be more inconsistent. You're not going to get those consistent weeks out of Mr. Devonta Smith. He's not.
I don't know if any of you guys and ladies do flash betting, but flash betting, basically you're betting on the next drive or you're betting on the next play. And I'm still learning how to do it, so I only keep them at $5 bets. But rarely do you see a team, their next drive, a touchdown is plus 120. And that's what the Dolphins are right now, Thomas. Like this, even the book is saying, more likely than not, the Dolphins are just going to score every time. And they just kept the Lions to a field goal. So 24-14, 7 minutes left. But that's just how confident.
And that game holding them to a field goal right now is a win for us.
That's a big win for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm thrilled about that. Not a big win for me, though, Devontae Adams, who just has nothing. He caught a ball. His foot was out of bounds. That kind of stinks. All right, so you were wrong about A.J. Brown, which is fine. What did you think about Tyreek and Waddle coming into the season? And what do you think about him now? Because Thomas and I talked about this off the top. Any given week, Waddle can outproduce Tyreek Hill. People don't seem to realize this, but he's doing it right now. Hill has more yards. He has 5 catches, 117. Waddle, 5 for 59 and 2 touchdowns. What about those two guys?
No, I was hyped on Tua coming into this year, and a big reason was Waddle and Hill being there. We know Tua's an accurate quarterback, and we're seeing it this year. A couple underthrown balls so far today, but those guys are both must starts. Like, we're looking at an offense where we could have 2 top 12 wide receivers at the end of the season. Maybe one guy top 5, one guy 9, 10, 11. But you're right. There's no secret sauce to, like, is Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill going to be the main guy this week, because Tua's got 2 incredible options, and you're plugging both of those guys in, week out. Man, it's been fun to watch, hasn't it? It's fun cheering for Tua and Waddle and Hill.
100%.
It was a week.
What's your take on the Raiders?
Waddle.
Yeah,
they were trash talking his Waddle. Did you see that?
What's your take on the Raiders? I was high on them coming into the season. I thought Josh McDaniel was going to be better his second time around, and like as Holden mentioned, I know Adams was sick, but not doing anything on offense. I don't know. This team surprises me, even if you weren't as high on them as me, just how bad they are right now.
Now, before the season, Tommy and our friend Coop on the FYF Morning Show made a bet, Raiders versus Broncos, straight up record at the end of the season. And Coop was feeling real confident on the Broncos side. Tommy was feeling real confident on the Raiders side. And I thought we were going to have a battle of 2 great teams. You know what I mean? I thought these were going to be good teams this year. Turns out it's a race to the bottom between the Broncos and the Raiders. But this Raiders offense seems like it should be better than it is, right? Like it just feels like this should be a better team. And they just keep giving up huge games to these opposing quarterbacks. Like if you've got a quarterback playing against the Raiders, it's plug and play. Throw them in there. They're going to kill it for you. I don't know what's going on with this Raiders team. I think maybe they're just worse than we thought they were at the beginning of the year. Doesn't mean there's not fantasy relevance out there, though. Jacobs has been a darling in this gross running back landscape.
Is there a player out there that you're that either underperformed or is under the radar that you're looking to buy halfway through the season that some people might be down on?
Man, I don't know if it still counts, but keep going out there and throwing out trade offers for Chris Godwin. I feel like his true value is not quite caught up to the player that he is yet because he started the year injured. He came out, got hurt. Like when he plays with Tom Brady, all he does is be a top 12 wide receiver. Like that's what Chris Godwin does. And he's not being viewed as a top 12 wide receiver right now. He's in that like wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 range, how people are viewing him. We get questions like, do I start Chris Godwin or Darnell Mooney this week sometimes? And that's not how you got to be viewing that guy, right? Like he's a top 12 wide receiver when he's out there. So I'm still throwing out trade offers for Godwin. I'm shocked what people are trading him away for right now.
All right, here, I got one for you because I'm watching a little bit of the Eagles and the Steelers. By the way, 21-7 Eagles on top, 5 minutes to play, first half. And A.J. Brown has 5 catches, 113 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's not a joke. Najee Harris has 3 carries. His long rush is 1 yard. He's also got 0 yards today. And then Warren has a carry for 12 yards. Is Najee just done? Like, is he cooked? What is his role at this point? He might be the biggest bust out there.
Man, I mean, he's an RB2. We drafted him to be a top 5 running back, but he's an RB2, and that's on volume and volume alone. Like we already knew he was inefficient. He was inefficient last year. This line didn't get any better. So we're seeing the same kind of Najee performances that we've seen in the past, right? Like this inefficient runner, but it's on a much worse team. Like the Steelers team is awful. So some of that opportunity, some of that upside is just gone. I'm still plugging Najee into lineups, but it's with a massive expectation shift. You're expecting him to be a RB 20 to 30 instead of RB 1 to 10, right? Like it's just not looked good out there. I don't see Jaylen Warren taking over for him, but it's not going to get prettier unless something massive changes on this team, which is going to be pretty tough halfway through the season. He was playing with a metal plate in his shoe for the first 6 weeks as well. Had that taken out, a steel plate, but I don't know, not looking too much better since the steel plate's gotten taken out either.
What are your thoughts about the Bengals now? I mean, I have Jamar Chase obviously out for a while. I think you can look at it 2 ways because I feel like T. Higgins feasts on single coverage a lot. You know, they're over there. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but now defenses can kind of put more focus on Higgins. How do you view this the Bengals offense moving forward without Chase?
Man, T can beat the coverage. T is a good enough wide receiver that even if he's getting the ones, I'm not too concerned about it. This is a plus for him. Like they had a 1A, 1B scenario, and now T. Higgins is just the one. And the good news for him is they have a competent third wide receiver. When I say competent, I mean arguably one of the best slot wide receivers in the entire game in Tyler Boyd. So it's not like there's no one lining up across from him, right? Like there's someone else to take some of that attention. And then you had Joe Mixon, Hayden Hurst. Like they have other weapons. If it was just the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins show, maybe a little more concerned, but this dude's going to eat. Like T is his upside right now is just through the roof. Like I'm viewing him as like a top 8 guy while Jamar Chase is out week in, week out. And Joe Burrow's been slinging it the past couple weeks.
What is your take on so we got a couple big running backs this afternoon, Henry and Barkley. Henry looks like he's set up in a smash spot today. He's going up against a team that just can't stop the run. He's also got Malik Willis in there. So maybe this is more of a theory question for you. Do you bump running backs up with a mobile quarterback? And then second of all, what do you think of him today? What do you think of Henry today?
I think to answer your meta question, your strategy question, it's twofold, right? And I think it depends on the offense. On the one hand, it's going to make it easier. Those lanes are going to open up easier if they're having to account for the quarterback taking off. So that's a general plus. But then you get the potential of touchdowns being stolen away down there on the goal line, right? Like it potentially takes away some of those touchdowns. Touchdowns are so fluky though that I generally do view it as a plus for these players, especially a guy like Derrick Henry. Maybe it's a trap. Maybe it's like the best matchup he could have. There's a rookie quarterback who they don't necessarily want chucking the ball a lot. He's a mobile quarterback. Like everything seems to be Derrick Henry is the by far and away number 1 running back this week. And I'm buying into it. There's no running back I'm ranking higher than Derrick Henry going into this week. So I'm playing him.
All right.
I mean, like everything's pointing his direction, right? Like maybe it's a trap, but everything seems to be lining up for him to smash.
Can we get another ding, ding, ding? We made some money. I mean, Casale cashed his A.J. Brown prop in 5 minutes. It took me a little longer to get Jalen Waddle there, but he just went over his 68.5. He's got
two easy ones.
6 for 72.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, we're off to a good start again today.
Was that some Austin Powers getting dropped in there?
Yeah, baby.
But let me ask you a question: Is Tua going to break the single game record for passing? Because I mean, you told me that Hill has just obscene numbers, and now Waddle's approaching 100 yards, and we're still in the first half here.
He's got almost 250. Yeah, that's absurd.
Hold on, I gotta go look up his. Here, without looking, I'm gonna write this down again. What do you think Tua's current passing prop is? He's at 246 with 3 minutes to play in the first half. Detroit with the ball.
What's his line at? Like for the full game line?
Both of you guys, take a guess. What's his passing prop yardage? I've never seen one this high.
385. 385.
How many?
385. That might be a little high. That's what I'm going with.
385. If they gave me 385, I would unload my DK account. Casale, what do you got?
I would say 418.5.
All right, 448.5.
448. Holy
well,
cow.
He's got 246. I mean, he's going to be kissing 500 today. But we have a 448.5 minus 115 on Tua.
You got the cojones to take the over on that. That feels dirty, doesn't it?
Are you going to bet it, or are you just saying you got the over?
No, I'm not going to bet it. I'm just saying I'll take the over. It's one of those.
Hey, no problem betting 200 yards over the closing line. It's like
that's one of those ones.
No closing line value here. We don't.
There is zero CMC on this. Simon, CMC today. Give me the rundown.
CMC today. I mean, he's Christian freaking McCaffrey, right? Yeah. Last week he was good, even with a limited workload. He's on this San Francisco 49ers offense without Deebo Samuel this week. So I imagine he's going to be he'll be a full participant today's game, and you start him. You plug him in. Now it's a tougher matchup, so maybe you don't expect RB1 overall, but he's Christian McCaffrey. Man, those are my favorite players to give analysis on, right? Start him. And Christian McCaffrey's the man.
You're incredible.
He's just the dude.
Just do it. Just take it.
I'm not too worried about matchup for Christian McCaffrey, though, going up against these Rams.
You like Kittle today without Deebo? Like, what is it? Let's talk about that. Who is the two biggest beneficiaries in that Niners offense without Deebo today? Is it as simple as Kittle and CMC? Is there somebody else you would throw in there? Is it Ayuk? Who is it?
I think it's Ayuk. Ayuk's on the field 100% of the time, right? Like that dude is just always on the field. You go look at the snap shares. He's on the field more than Deebo Samuel. It's probably because Deebo's involved in the rushing game. But with Deebo out, he's going to be their primary receiving target. And I like Brandon Ayuk this week. Kittle, I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Kittle because my son has him on his fantasy team, and I said, the problem with Kittle is he's a great receiving tight end, but he's also maybe the best blocking tight end in football. So, but without Deebo, do you think they use him more in the passing game today?
Yeah, I mean, he's a coach's wet dream at tight end, right? Like you can set him up outside and he's going to absolutely kill it for you. But then when your left tackle goes out, Trent Williams, you can just throw George Kittle in there as an extra blocker and you're good to go. And that's what we saw a lot from Kittle while Williams was out. Deebo being out, yeah, maybe it helps Kittle a little bit. The bigger thing is Trent Williams is back and healthy, and we're going to see more big Kittle games now that he's not in there blocking in absence of their starting left tackle. So if you drafted Kittle, you're going to have a lot more fun over the back half of the season than you did over the first half of the season, as long as that line stays healthy.
All right, Simon, what are we catching next, man? Simon Gruenveld, by the way.
Nailed it. I just saw the touchdown or the what was that? A pick six with a flag right there in the Jets game.
Roughing the quarterback.
Oh shoot! I was a little bit behind on that one.
You can say shit, Simon.
Thank you. I'll have to text my mom and ask if that's all right first.
That one was actually probably warranted. He kind of jumped up and went like this. Stupid play.
All right, Casale, we got to come back. By the way, real quick, Simon, when are they going to catch you next? Where are you? What do we do? Where do we find you?
You can find me every morning here on Bettor Sports Network, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Myself, John Luke Garofalo, and Andrew Cooper. Though Coop is in Europe for a couple of weeks, so we're gonna be without Coop. He's gonna give us some live Europe updates. And then if you want to hang out tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time over on the FanDuel YouTube account, you can catch me, JL, and Joey breaking down the day's games from a fantasy perspective.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for letting me join you. It was fun to get in on some live action.
Yeah, it's always great, man. This is just what we do. We're getting paid to watch football. There's nothing better than that.
It's the best.
There's nothing better. Thank you, Simon.
Take care.
Nikhil Harry just scored a touchdown. So, we're officially super duper plaid random. We also have the loser board coming up next, and I'm going to tell you right now, Devontae Adams will be the first guy to talk about it. Unless he catches a touchdown pass right now.
The first guy is always on my fantasy team every week. It's amazing.
Well, Devontae's pooped the bed so far. So we'll talk about the loser board next. He is Thomas Casale. I am Holden Kushner. Hit us up in the chat. Say hi if you'd like. What are you on? You got any fantasy questions, betting questions, DFS questions? We'll take that. Find the like button and hit it. Your life will be better. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're coming back with more on the Bettor Zone.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Bettor Zone.
Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry. Okay, talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach. Makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting, I'm going to bring up.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, in the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at like Eton Thomas. Like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, want to know why? They're paranoid. They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with
us. It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right.
Yeah, that can incite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful?
It's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to my team.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Hurts takes it. He fakes. He's back. He's looking. He is going deep for A.J. Brown, who leaps, comes down with the football. It's a touchdown. Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He lets it fly. He is going deep, and it is caught for a touchdown. A.J. Brown.
Wow. Number 2 on the day.
Hurts looks, fakes, still looking. He is going deep down the far side, and it is A.J. Brown again. Another touchdown, 29 yards.
Boom. We want to hear what you're sweating on NFL game day. Get into the Bettor Zone on Bettor Sports Network.
I'm not one to sweat in the first half, but I am sweating a little bit on Davante Adams. 3 targets, no catches. The one catch he did make, his toe was out of bounds. By the way, we're going to do the leaderboard, the loser board. DeAndre Hopkins just made a remarkable one-handed touchdown catch to keep Arizona right in this thing. 47 seconds left in the first half. He's Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner. You can find me, Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets, right here on the Bettor Network. I work for Bet Rivers. I do the Denver City Cast podcast for them. I'm all over the place. Thomas, what are you doing these days? How do they find you? And then we'll get into the loser board. Nothing's correlated on that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a senior editor with the Action Network. I'm in charge of the partnership with the New York Post, so you can find my college basketball, college football, NFL, all that stuff over at the Post. And of course, I do Homecoming here every Saturday. I co-host with Corey Parsons when he's not on vacation from 10 to 12 every Saturday, going over all the college football games for that day.
Okay. That was, by the way, the Eagles radio network coming in. A.J. Brown with 3 touchdowns. He is not on the loser board, but number 1's got to be Davante Adams. Let's just throw him. The whole Raiders offense has got to be there, and their defense. Yeah, loser board will start. I want to start with a team. Usually we do positions here, Thomas, and I'm looking forward to seeing who you got there. But, Brandon Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, 35 yards rushing. He's done nothing in the pass game. He's got 1 catch for no yards. So 35 total yards and a catch. Davante, no catches, no yards, -1 rushing yard. They give it to him on 3rd and 1. That's the head of the loser board right now, Thomas. Who do you got? You want to add a couple guys in? Because I'll keep rolling with them. I got more.
Let me see here. I'm trying to think who I have on my fantasy team who isn't doing anything. I'm actually having Adams is the one for me. What's Hunter Renfrow doing? Like you said, the whole team, right? He's not doing anything, is he?
I don't. Yeah, he has no catches. He's got 1 target. Basically, the whole Raiders offense just took a.
Yeah. So there you go. The whole Raiders offense. How's Kamara having a good day? He's having a good day, right?
Kamara.
Did he score?
Yeah, 31 rushing and a touchdown, 54 off 7 catches and a touchdown. He's not having an okay day. He's having a great day.
Yeah, he's having a good day. So, yeah, it's basically the Raiders right now. Even a team like the Bears who are getting beat. They got some offense going. They got 2 touchdowns, which is usually takes them a month to score that many points. So this is one of those. I think it's a good fantasy day today, right? We're seeing a lot of points, a lot of players.
Finally, right?
It's finally a good fantasy day where it's not just TJ Watt's brother catching touchdown passes. It looked like we might get off to that kind of day. But, Harris isn't doing nothing, like we mentioned, right? Najee Harris is doing it. Yeah.
You know what? Harris, by the way, 4 carries, no yards, 1 catch for 7 yards. So he's got, 1.7 points? And then the other guy from Pittsburgh, I got a little George Pickens in DFS. No catches on 3 targets. So it'd be nice to see him get in there a little bit. Also on Hurts under completions. Let's see where he is. He's at 14. I'm probably going to lose that one. He's at 14 already. And I got him under 19.
What's Swift doing?
Oh, let's see. Your boy Swift, 2 carries, 3 yards, 2 catches, 14 and a touchdown. So at least he got the box for you.
Got the touchdown, yeah.
That's a big one. Over here, how about I don't think he's gonna be on the loser board at the end of the day, but I gotta put him on the loser board. Justin Jefferson. 2 catches, really? 37 yards. You need more out of that dude. I'm sorry. You need more out of him. Whether you're DFSing, you're redrafting, you're betting, you need more out of him.
Especially against that defense.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Those of you that spot started Eno Benjamin, he's not doing very well either. 17 yards rushing, catch for 15 yards. So he's really got nothing going on to this point. Jets and the Patriots 10-6 Jets on top. James Robinson in his debut, Thomas, 3 carries, 13 yards. So I don't think he's going to lose.
What do you think of that pickup for the Jets?
Fine. He's fine. I think they need 2 guys back there. They're not sold on Carter, so fine. Go out and get yourself another back. I think Robinson's a serviceable back, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's kind of does what Robinson or Carter doesn't do. So I like the trade for the Jets.
And then we've got the Cowboys and the Bears. I don't think anybody's hurting anybody's feelings. David Montgomery's always on the loser board. I don't even feel like he should be included, so I'm not going to. There's just a lot of good things coming out of this game. I mean, look, even Justin Fields, 42 yards rushing, a touchdown, 46 yards passing and a touchdown on 8 of 11. So let me ask you this. Is it possible Justin Fields is turning a corner a little bit here? Because now we're talking 6 straight quarters where he's looked very competent, and they're already in the 3rd quarter now.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, like I was a Fields fan in college, and I think, these young quarterbacks, when they don't have a line early on, it really hurts them because then they start focusing on that one read. And in the NFL, you can't focus on one read or you won't be around very long. So I saw him doing that earlier in the season. Now they're starting to get him out more, let him use his athleticism. And again, I see things from Fields where I say, I'm not ready to throw in the towel. When I watch much. I mean, he's missing wide open receivers. You can't do that in the NFL. So if you said right now, who would you rather have? I'd rather have Justin Fields.
Adam Bernard, our great producer, usually I'm the one that just comes up with leaderboard on myself. He just sent us a whole leaderboard, a loser board, I should say. I can't put Kenny Pickett, PJ Walker on the loser board. I just can't do it. Like they're not, you shouldn't have expected anything out of them. I will put Carr on there. He put him on there, 7 of 14, 43 and a pick. He's probably been the worst quarterback in the NFL so far today.
Yeah, and well, like you said, there's no one was expecting much. I see the Bettor boss here said, Raheem Mostert. He was an interesting one to me because I thought the Lions can't stop the run, but I thought that was going to be based on game flow. You know what I mean? Like if the Dolphins had gotten an early dominating, I think he would have had a huge game, but they fell behind. Now it's pass. So I thought that was a tough one to read because I didn't really know how that game was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. This is definitely a tough one to watch right now. A couple other ones disappointing on the loser board here. Let me get this loser board up, by the way. Miles Sanders, 3 carries, 10 yards. Good call, Adam. Miles Sanders doing nothing today. Tough to trust the Philadelphia backfield with Jalen Hurts there, but I get it. Chris Olave, my guy that I took a future on to win the Rookie of the Year is Damian Pierce. We just had the huge injury. Who am I missing here that just went down for the year? That was the leader, the running back that was the leader. You guys could type it into the chat if you want to. I can't even remember. The leader, whoever it was for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, wasn't Pierce. It was a different running back, and he just went down. Olave's up there too, but Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. Yeah.
Thanks for your help. Thanks for letting me hang out there, Casale. Yeah. Jesus.
I was trying to think too. I was like rookie running back. I probably wanted to forget about that because I had Breece Hall over 835 and a half yards, and that was well on its way to cashing until the injury. So
yeah. I mean, at least I have an excuse. I've burned my brain cells. What is your excuse?
I'm old. I can't recall anything anymore.
No, that's a great point. We're both kind of old.
Yeah. So let me ask you. Nick Durst says, he's getting on. Let me see Fields have over 16 completions in a game first. Wow. Why do people hate Fields so much? Like I get this. Like I've never heard that kind of talk. Like with Trevor Lawrence, like just the hatred that people seem to have for Fields. Is it just because there's more Bears fans around and nobody's ever rooted for the Jaguars in their life and they don't care about them?
There's definitely a lot of vitriol toward that young man. I don't understand it either. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't get it. I just don't understand it.
I mean, how much better are some of these other quarterbacks playing than? I mean, Mac Jones, the Wilson in New York, Trevor Lawrence. It's not like these other guys are, blowing the roof off the place. They're all kind of in the same boat right now.
I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he's going to be okay. All right. I think he's being an okay quarterback, but for me, he's nothing special.
No, he hasn't.
He can run. He can run. And Nick Durst, just, this guy does the pregame interviews. It's wonderful. And everybody's lathered up. And he's sitting here saying Mac Jones is no Bailey Zappi. Like,
You sound like a jerk.
can we both just admit that they stink? Like, both guys stink?
Doo-doo!
That they're nothing better than
People
mediocre?
love the guy who comes in. I'll tell you how old I am. There was a guy in New Orleans years ago named John Forcade, came in and had a couple of good games. Everyone thought he was the Saint savior. Here's the thing. Mike Martz, whatever you think of him, is right about quarterbacks. The first 16 games is advantage quarterback. It's the next 16 games that's advantage defense that you have to see if you have the guy. Okay, anybody can come in and look good for 3 or 4 games. It's happened a million times in this league. The question is he a 16-game starter in the NFL? I'll give you a perfect example. A guy I love, Ryan Fitzpatrick, isn't a 16-game starter in the NFL. Ryan Fitzpatrick is an 8-game starter if your starter goes down. That's just the way it is, and those guys are valuable. Not everybody's going to be a starting NFL quarterback.
You can't handle the truth.
That's a great point. A. Ross out for the year. Did I say he was out for his life or something, or what? A. Ross. I don't know. Breece Hall is definitely out for the year. That's good for my Damian Pierce. And again, loser board has Chris Olave on there. I could have sworn you said Damian Pierce is out for the year. Made me go to my no. Pierce is not out for the year. Pierce is the guy I got the bet on.
Wrong.
Breece Hall is the guy that's out for the year.
Yeah.
And you went Chicago, Dallas. If you had that, our producer says it went to the over 42.5. So congratulations on that one. Tony Pollard's going bananas. 51 yards rushing and a touchdown. Threw in a catch for 16 yards. Well, that's not bad. 14 PPR points.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right? We expected him to go ham today. You did, right? I mean, we've been waiting for this for 5 years. Like, please, Tony Pollard, let's just have him be the bell cow. And he's finally the bell cow.
Yeah, no, he looks good. Nick Durst bringing up one of your buddies from Denver, Brock Osweiler.
God, why you got to bring him up?
Brock Osweiler.
Trevor Simeon, Tim Tebow, just put them all in a pot, and they're the same guys. It's really rough. All right, let's catch you up on a couple other things that are going on right now. Again, with this leaderboard, I think Kyle Pitts, to me, is the biggest story at tight end today. He has disappointed fantasy manager. I remember one of the last couple of weeks that our guy Deutsch, the big man here, he had Kyle Pitts, and just people hate Kyle Pitts. He has been awful. Well, today he's shown up. 5 targets, 3 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. So he's got 12.8 PPR points. That puts him third for the week. Evan Engram went for 15.5. Isaiah Likely 19.7 the other night with Andrews leaving. So, and then Greg Dulcich, 4 for 87. And I will say this, being in Denver, hosting the Denver City Cast. No way Greg Dulcich is going to make an impact this year. Rookie tight ends never make an impact. He missed all of camp with a hamstring injury. Even Kyle Pitts couldn't take care of business last year. Guess what, Thomas Casale? This guy looks like the real deal. Old Dulcich.
Yeah, no, he's playing well. Listen, tight ends, I'd never, ever draft rookie tight ends. When I used to write about fantasy, I always, for years, I used to tell people you can count on one hand the rookie tight ends that have made an impact. And I mean, that one hand hasn't gone to the second hand 10 years later. It's a different kind of position. They have to block. It's game plan specific. I mean, we talked about Kittle. Sometimes Kittle's a third tackle for the 49ers. So it's just tough. I do think it is interesting to me, though, that they spent such a high draft pick on Pitts and they don't use them more. I do think Arthur Smith's doing a good job in Atlanta. I think he's a good coach, but for some reason, they just haven't made Pitts a big part of the offense yet.
I'm going to ask you here. I'm playing DFS. I know you're not a DFS guy, but I'm just going to ask you raw points this afternoon. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, CMC. Rank them. Derrick Henry, Saquon, CMC.
I'm going to go Henry, Barkley, McCaffrey.
Why McCaffrey last?
Only because of the matchups, the other two have. Seattle, I think their defense is garbage. So I think Barkley's going to have a big game. And listen, I haven't seen the Texans even remotely stop a running back yet this year. I mean, they are going to strap it on Derrick Henry for 30, 35 carries today, unless they're way behind. So as long as that game doesn't get out of hand for the Titans, I think he's your top guy.
What do you make of Daniel Jones this afternoon? You down with Daniel against the Seattle?
Yeah, listen, he's playing well. We mentioned me and Ronis on here and Corey. Like, I was impressed with him in the loss to the Cowboys. He was under pressure like every play, and he was still putting balls on the money. I just think Brian Daboll has done a great job of putting him in position to be successful. And I think against that Seattle defense would be exploited. I think he has another good game today.
I'm trying to just figure out I'm really torn on CMC this afternoon. Like, on one hand, he walked off the bus last week and what did he get? Like 10 touches. And now Shanahan comes out this week and says, oh, he's got the whole playbook at his disposal with no Deebo Samuel, somebody with a very similar skill set, right? I know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and it's hard to rank him third, but we're talking about Henry, Saquon Barkley, and McCaffrey. So someone's got to be third. And the fact that he's just still, I do think they're going to use him quite a bit. I just like the two matchups with the other guys a little bit more.
Yep. All right, coming up the top of the hour, Kyle Elfrink, fantasyguru.com. He's going to join us, talk some NFL with him. We got a leaderboard coming up next. Two guys off the top of my head I know are on the leaderboard, A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle. Both wide receivers going absolutely bananas today. Hit us up in the chat. You want to say something to us? What are you on? You got any questions? Thomas and I'll be happy to discuss with you. No more about appearances. It makes me a little uncomfortable. And then and a leaderboard on the flip side. This is the Bettor Zone on the Bettor Network.
Bettor Zone. Bettor Sports Live with Lisa Ann and Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific.
We've talked about this. You're not into that, to the dynasty thing.
Dynasty is like a long-term relationship, and that just is really tough for me, Rick, I understand. It is such, and then when you say the two things that you say that probably scare me the most is a 14-team dynasty. Then I'm like, oh, this is a now complex relationship that requires a lot of my attention.
And a dog that you don't like and all of that stuff, right?
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by fantasyguru.com.
I wish they'd get rid of instant replay. I think it's damaging to the sport. I just don't like it.
They will never get rid of instant replay on the broadcast. We demand it, and that's why. Remember, replay kind of rose out of the fact that people would sit at home and say, "Why can't they look at this? Why can't they see? I get to see the replay, and I know it's wrong. Why don't they get it?" So that said, okay, we'll have replay. Ray, we're never going to get rid of replay. No. Like, you couldn't say, "Hey, the NFL will get rid of it, but we're not going to show it on broadcast." What if the NFL said, we'll get rid of replay, but we will not show any instant replays at the stadium? Would you be okay with, you'd still get them at home, and you could still yell at the TV, but the ref can't hear you there.
Right.
I feel part of it is they have to have replay because the millions upon millions of people watching the game have replay. So, you can't not have replay when everybody else has it, but the guys making the decisions don't have it. You gotta have replay. It's impossible.
It is impossible. It's just my dream. It doesn't help.
You need to get better dreams, Ray. That's not really
it doesn't help. That's the thing. If we use replay and it creates as many questions as answers that it solves, what's the point of it?
Well, it's not going to change, Ray Flowers. You're going to be an old man still yelling at the replay cloud.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Hand off to Kamara inside, and Kamara, can he get pushed in? He does! Alvin Kamara on the near side. The officials say touchdown. Dalton is in the shotgun to the left hash, has Kamara to his left, Johnson to his left. Olave and Callaway to his right. Takes the snap, looks to throw. Does throw across the middle. Kamara makes the catch inside the 5, on his feet still. Could not break the plane. He does break the plane. Touchdown, Saints.
Hang out in the Bettor Zone will you track NFL live action on Bettor Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to the Bettor Zone. Holden Kushner here, Thomas Casale there. We're hanging out. It's time for the leaderboard, and Alvin Kamara's got to be right up there. Again, I think 2 wide receivers, Thomas, are the guys that's really getting going. But we could start over there at running back, and I just wonder, for you personally, anybody that's really stepping up today. But Alvin Kamara leads all running backs in scoring now. He's got 32 yards rushing and a touchdown, 8 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown, 29.2 PPR points. So he's going to be right up there with the leaders like A.J. Brown and Jalen Waddle. But boy, is he having a monster first half. Ramondre Stevenson, number 5. So it goes Kamara, ATN, Jamal Williams, Kenyon Drake, and then Ramondre at 16.5 points. He got 5 catches on 5 targets, 59 yards, 56 yards rushing. Outside of that, Tony Pollard, 13.7. Deontay Foreman, 13.5. That will round out the top 10 at running back. What do you got here? Because Kamara, and thanks to the Saints radio network, boy, he just picked up a lot of points quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the guys for me are, I got Jamal Williams going, I have Pollard, and I have Waddles. Doing well for me. I have Dak too. He's having a pretty good game at quarterback. So those are my guys that are doing well. We're in the Raider boat together because I need Adams and I had to start Renfro because Chase is buys and I got Chase. So getting nothing out of my Raiders right now.
I need one more catch out of Mike Gesicki. He just picked up another one. Live show bet we did today.
Well, the good news is they're going to throw it 72 more times, so he should get one of those.
Maybe that's the bet we should have made. Tua over passing attempts at this point, right? Because we're not his passing props up to 456.5 now. Tua's is 456.
So I hit it right on the 448.5.
So his passing attempts is 44.5. Let me go look at this real quick. 44.5. He's sitting at 19. He's only got 24 passing attempts. So they're thinking he doubles that here. Now it's 45.5. That's actually not a bad bet. I'm just a little bit gun shy that Miami is going to come back and just start smoking them and they don't have to throw it as much later. But there's a reason why Raheem Mostert is on the loser board for some of you, and it's because the Dolphins are playing from behind. They're just throwing it. Mostert's got 1.2 points, 12 yards carried.
Yeah. And the other thing too, again, it is a lot on game flow, but there may not be a bigger mismatch in the NFL than these Dolphin receivers against the Lions secondary. I mean, it's just an absolute. The Lions secondary is a mismatch every week. But when you put Waddle and Hill out there, maybe the Bengals would be the only other one. Good luck.
Kamara just scored again. He now has.
So hey, you know what's interesting?
What?
Holden, I heard reports that if your boy didn't win in London, he might not be there Monday. They might have had the wrong AFC West coach getting fired on Monday because this Raiders team looks dreadful, and I don't know where this is going here. They lost a lot of close games, but sometimes when you lose close games, then you the games aren't so close anymore. This is an awful effort. And you just watch the game. They don't even look like they're there.
We got to redo the leaderboard now at running back because not only is Alvin Kamara the highest scoring running back, he's the highest scored today. He has 40 points. And mind you, there's almost a full half to play still.
Yeah.
He's got 41 yards rushing and a touchdown. And then he's got 10 targets, 9 catches, 96 and 2 touchdowns. He's put up a 40 burg. He's getting to 50. He's got to get to 50.
Yeah, well, hey, if they're trying to trade him, that value just went up a little bit.
Now I sit his ass. If I'm trading him, sit him. That's it.
No, I know. I don't think they're going to trade him. But imagine him on the Eagles right now. Whew.
You made a good point here, and it was just a routine observation, but still, We've had good football today. We've had a lot of offense today. It's been a lot of fun.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, it's Corey's going to get Wally pipped right out of here, just like he did that Saturday show. I mean,
don't Wally pip him. That's okay.
Every time Corey's here, we're counting field goals and touchdowns from backup tight ends.
Yeah. Well,
But Corey's out. Corey's out. He's out in the South Carolina State homecoming, and he's eating some kind of gator sausage, deep fried gator sandwich. I don't know what he's doing. We'll have to catch up with him next week.
You ever had frog legs?
I have not.
Yeah, me neither. I've had gator. It's not good. It's not good.
I haven't had. I'm up here in the small town in the Northeast here, Holden. I don't know what goes down there in the South. We don't barbecue live gators up here.
Oh, Trent Sherfield looked like he got in, and this is the Dolphins wide receiver, Trent Sherfield, who I took out of my DFS lineup at the last second for someone else. I think he just scored a touchdown. They're going to have to give him a touchdown on this.
That's a touchdown. I just saw it live. I don't even have to see the replay.
Yeah, it's going to be 20. Unless they don't challenge this. Why are they not challenging this? What is Miami doing? They could get in, but it was a sure touchdown, and they didn't challenge it. And they just got stopped again inside the one with a flag down. What are they doing?
What are they doing? That was an easy touchdown. First of all, let's review this, Holden. Let's review this. Let's think about all the bad that just happened here. That's a touchdown. The guy standing 4 feet away didn't call it a touchdown for some reason, even though both of us watching it live knew it was a touchdown. Then Miami's rushing up to the line like they just stole something from somebody trying to hike it. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the NFL. That was an easy touchdown. I mean, I know sometimes you don't know what they're going to do in review. That was an easy touchdown. It'd taken about 20 seconds for them to overturn that call.
This is so dumb. All right, it's 1st and goal from 2 inches out. Now, listen, they're probably going to score, right? It's probably going to happen here.
Mm-hmm. There's no whoa. There's no probably. So I remember a game many years ago between Jacksonville and the Saints. Remember they had a crazy ending many years ago where they threw the ball all over the place?
You're right.
The Saints did the same thing that game. They scored, didn't challenge. Deuce McAllister fumbled on the next play. So I always remember that when people say, "Oh, they're going to score."
They scored.
Although the Dolphins did score. Now there's a
flag. But Mike McDaniel's on the loser board. You got to challenge that man. You got to challenge it. It's a horrible job of coaching. Anyways, let's go to the leaderboard here. Who scored for them? But who was that just went in?
Another nobody.
Another nobody. Really? Alex Ingold? Really? That's who you're giving the touchdown to? Alex Ingold? Tyreek Hill is up to 9 and 163. He's going in shit.
Hey, but our live bet, we're listen.
We're
I'll tell you right now. Listen, I know we're joking about coaches, but Dan Campbell better not lose this one.
He's gonna lose
because I know I'm sure he'll just do some more push-ups with the players. Start crying in the press conference saying this is on me. That stuff's getting old. You got to win football games. They're in a terrible NFC. They have one win. Not good enough. So he better not lose this game or we'll be counting down the days before he's gone.
I should have taken the money line at plus 185, but the 5.5 will take. Nothing's cashed yet, but okay. Leaderboard at quarterback, Mr. Casale. We have Dak Prescott, 22.8. He's thrown for 180, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He's run for 12 yards and a touchdown. Then there's Lamar Jackson at 21.8. Jalen Hurts is sitting there. 3 more touchdown passes. This guy is remarkable. He's run for 10 yards. He's got 21.04. Tua is right there at 19.76. Tua has thrown for 294 and 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, Russ Wilson, top 10. Top 10 right there. And another 3 and out for the Raiders. That's not good. That's not good. So
they're getting blown out.
Raiders. Let's get to the wide receivers. As we've said, A.J. Brown. I mean, I thought he was going to be the high scorer, but no, Kamara's there. But at wide receiver, he's the high scorer, 34.3 points, 113 and 3 off 5 catches. Tyreek, 10 targets, 9 catches, 90 yards. Or actually 163 yards, 163 yards. He's caught 90% of his passes. Waddle is right behind him at 25.2. 6 catches, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. CD, 65 and a touchdown. He's got 16.6. DeAndre Hopkins, 16.3. He's got a 53 and a touchdown off 5 catches. Garrett Wilson, 9, and Jacoby Myers, 10. Jacoby Myers, for nobody talks about it. You don't want to target the New England offense. Jacoby Myers is the number 1. He's had some really good fantasy performances this year.
Yeah, and I think Parker got injured, Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker
So,
on top of it.
yeah.
And he was another guy that he was a great live bet because they'd never look at him early in the game. And then the second half, it seems like they just look for him and get him going. But that's where we are. That's the leaderboard right now. I think the most impressive players, it's easy. The 2 wide receivers, Hill and Waddle from Miami.
That's awesome.
Kamara at running back. And then Dak's been terrific. Dak has been terrific under center. It took him a game to get comfortable, but he's back. What's Dak's ceiling, Thomas?
So you're telling me that where's the Cooper Rush should start crowd? Hopefully that crowd doesn't really exist and people just do those things so they can. I
had a good troll session on that. People really
did you?
Believe it. Yeah, everybody's no. People got upset, like legitimately, like no, Dak is better. It's like no shit, Dak is better.
Yeah, it's amazing though. But some people really believe it, which scares me, to be honest with you. Like I understand if guys like Stephen A. or the people who get paid to rile people up. I get it. That's what they do for a living. But if you really believe it, it scares the hell out of me. Dak's ceiling is this. I think the problem with Dak is people listen, he's not Patrick Mahomes, right? He's a 4th round draft pick who works his ass off, who gets every ounce out of his talent. So he's overachieved based on his God-given abilities, I think. So, but he is a very good quarterback. Here's where Dak needs to get better. He has started off every playoff game slowly, and it's put the Cowboys behind the 8 ball. I don't know if he gets a little bit, the word for it is choking. He get a little bit too tensed up, right? But that's where he needs to get better, is the Cowboys can't start every playoff game playing from behind. And it's part of that is on him. He has not played well in the postseason.
Got a great stat for you. Taking a left turn here. Tyreek Hill has his 4th game of 160-plus receiving yards. The rest of the NFL has 5 160-plus.
I guess he doesn't miss Mahomes, huh?
He has 4. Mahomes misses him a lot more than he misses Mahomes. And Mahomes is still doing really well, isn't he? I mean, Mahomes.
Yeah, they just don't have a Tyreek there. I mean, some of those guys are tomato cans.
No, I'm watching Kyler Murray. I don't like the whole short joke. I was short when I was little before I went on HGH. Before I went on HGH, but this guy, he's not a good quarterback. In real life, he's just not. He's fine in fantasy. He's short.
Right.
He can't see over guys. He's getting stuff batted down. He's throwing stuff up in the air. I mean, what the hell was this? That ball should have been intercepted. He's just not a good quarterback. He doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason to when he runs. Sometimes some games will run. Sometimes he doesn't. He has just horrible body language.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say the other thing too is that he's unlikable. I heard coming out of college that his teammates didn't really like him. And if you just watch this, sometimes whenever they show Kyler on the sidelines, he's always by himself. There's no teammates around him.
I can't stand him.
I just think he's a spoiled brat. I think he's an unlikable person. I don't think he's a great leader. Now, does he have talent? Like you said, yes. But I think one of the things that's happened over the last 20 years, Holden, with fantasy football becoming so popular, is we can confuse really good fantasy quarterback with really good real life quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And those two things are different. So, yeah, do I want him on my fantasy team? Sure. Would I start my franchise with him? Probably not.
I'm going to add DJ Moore to the loser board. A lot expected out of him with PJ Walker today. He's got a catch for 19 yards and 3 rushing yards. So we're going to throw.
Yeah, that's how do you look at him for the rest of the year? That's just tough, right? With the quarterback play there.
I don't want him. I'd try. I mean, if I had him, I probably should have traded him after last week. But what are you going to do?
Right.
Another guy on the loser board, Josh Jacobs, has a catch for no yards and 43 rushing yards. I mean, he may have been fine today. It's just the production isn't there. The whole Raiders team, Devontae still don't have a catch. That's a debacle.
That's shocking.
Anybody on the Raiders today, hit us up. I mean, I got Devontae over. That's not going to happen. There's no way, and I rarely lay down on a bet. You know that, Thomas. There's just too much crazy shit that happens in sports.
Yeah.
Where I'll lay down on a bet, but the dude, he hasn't been targeted in the second half. We got 6:30 left in the third. He's got no catches on 3 targets.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's going to bust. That's a big bust today. That'll probably be the biggest bust that there is. I can't imagine. Like, in order for him to pay off at this point, he's going to probably have to have a 60-yard catch and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's going to be like that night I bet Jamar Chase on the primetime game, and he basically did nothing, and then they threw him a touchdown pass in the final 2 minutes, like a 55-yard touchdown pass that completely changes. We're going to need something like that to save Adams.
Khalil Herbert touchdown?
Yeah, they're right back. I mean, this is a 28-24 game.
Yeah. That's not supposed to. What happened to this great Cowboys defense? Let's ask Kyle Elfrink. Kyle Elfrink, lunch money with one Ray Flowers from noon to 3 Eastern. You know, sometimes I drop things in your chat. You don't even mention who it is, Kyle. It hurts my feelings, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, Holden, there are thousands upon thousands, if not millions, of comments in that chat room. I can't get to all of them. I
don't believe you. So Kyle, let me ask you something. We're watching this Dallas-Chicago game right now, and the Bears are going to they're going for 2, so they're trying to get within 28-25. I want your thoughts on Justin Fields, if I can, going forward. Like, are you buying into these last 6.5 quarters where he's been more than serviceable, where he just got sacked on the 2-point conversion, or is Justin Fields just the guy?
I'm buying into it slightly because they're finally using him in a manner that makes sense. You know, if you look at Monday night, and I haven't watched every snap today, I've caught some of the highlights and some of the good moments there for Fields and the Bears offense. But if you look at Monday night, this last week against New England, they actually called some design runs. They moved the pocket. They let him throw on the run instead of saying, hey, stay on the pocket and look for your options. Go A, B, C, D, and then make the throw. That wasn't working. And I think with so many of these mobile QBs, that they do need to be on the move. Yeah, you don't want them lowering their shoulder and constantly, taking to the corner and trying to take on defensive backs, if not linebackers, but you do want them to use their natural ability. And for the Bears, they weren't doing that. They really had refused to allow Justin Fields to roll out or even to call design run plays. I think the number going into Monday was like Fields had 58 carries and 12 of them were on actual let's run the football and let you carry it. Then all of a sudden against New England, he had 7 or 8. He's had a few more today. So if they use him like this, and it is risky, injury, all that stuff, if they use him like this, yeah, there is hope still for Justin Fields.
Hey, Kyle, a guy we've been talking about a lot today playing in the later games here is Christian McCaffrey. It'll be his second game with San Francisco. They're expecting a lot more touches. What are your expectations for him this week in terms of, do you think he's going to have a big game, going to be the only guy there, or they're still going to be splitting some touches?
It's got to be a huge game. And I think that should be, if you talk touches 23 to 26, which is a huge number. How many guys do we say about that in the NFL? Like 3, like Derrick Henry. Oh yeah, get him 20 plus touches. Jonathan Taylor, get him 20 plus touches. McCaffrey's the same dude. And remember, this is not a guy coming off an injury. This is a guy learning a playbook, going to a new team. They have a huge need today with no Deebo Samuel. They got a huge contest against the Rams. A win today really puts the 49ers in a great spot because they would have both victories against the Rams head to head. I mean, any tiebreaker, they're walking away with it in the NFC West. So this is a big game for them, and with their injuries and with their ailments, if you will, yeah, they need to feed McCaffrey like crazy. The thing with McCaffrey, for those who didn't follow it, San Francisco is paying the guy $1 million the rest of the way. And I'm not saying they'll do this, but after this year, they don't owe him a dime. So if you got Christian McCaffrey, use him. Just roll him out there. Just play him like crazy. Let Christian McCaffrey be Christian McCaffrey. I said this coming into the year. If the Panthers don't overuse McCaffrey, they're screwing it up. Same thing with the Niners. You need to overuse him. Let this guy be a superstar. Yeah, there's going to be a price to pay eventually, but this year, right now, today, use him a ton. You got to do that if you're the Niners.
Just run him out there. Okay. Some other performances we have today. Devontae Adams doesn't have a catch.
Is that a performance?
That's not good. He made the loser board. That's one of them. That stinks. But I want to go back to a game earlier today, and I'm here in Denver, the Broncos. Is there anyone usable from that offense going forward? Is Dulcich like a legit every week starter at this point? There's Melvin Gordon, Latavius, there's Judy and Sutton. Like, is there anyone from that team that you feel confident in plugging and playing every day from here on out?
Well, Dulcich is now what, 3 for 3? 3 straight games where the tight end's done well. I mean, automatically that makes you a top 10 dude. So yeah, Dulcich, 3 straight games without a hiccup. I think he's in there. All of these guys can deserve roster spots. The idea of do I play them, do I start them, that's fair. At this very moment, I would say you can still roll Sutton out there in 3 wide receiver sets. You know, some people only play 2, so maybe Sutton gets a cut. Judy's probably a bench even in those 3 sets for fantasy leagues who do that. With running backs, I mean, the problem is you still do have touchdown potential from inside the 5. You do probably have 10 touches a week, if not more, for Melvin Gordon. Depending on what you're working with, yeah, those guys are startable, believe it or not. So it's ugly. There's very little success here. And we're now, what are we now? 7 games in, and it hasn't worked. Like, it just isn't working. I doubt it's going to suddenly turn around, which easily makes it one of the most disappointing storylines in the entire NFL. The fact that the Broncos are a bad offense. Like, I legitimately thought coming into the year, they're going to be a top 5 offense. They're going to be like a bottom 5 offense instead. It's a disaster. And again, when you're at this point in the season, I don't see a quick turnaround. I don't see any sort of turnaround. Those guys can all be rostered, but starting them, it's probably Dulcich, probably Sutton, running back needy people, going with Gordon, maybe a couple of others, Lat Murray, who knows. But overall, these guys belong on a bench.
Yeah, I want to go to the other team that played this morning. You know, I try not to be too hard on young quarterbacks. It takes them, you know, sometimes a little while, depending on what the team puts around them. But, man, I'm just not seeing it from Trevor Lawrence. He's missing guys who are wide open. The passes aren't even close. His pop. Where are you on Trevor Lawrence and this Jacksonville team as a whole? Because, I mean, they're favorites every week. I don't know what the Vegas is doing, but like, nothing went right for this team last year, right? With Urban Meyer, I kind of expected a little bit more. Where are you on the Jaguars?
I would put myself in there too, Tom. I expected more, and I thought Peterson would kind of maybe bust through that gate, if you will, and kind of figure it out with Trevor Lawrence. There have been a couple of games here. I mean, obviously that game against LA, the Chargers, what has that been? 4 or 5 weeks ago, that looked like he had turned a corner. That looked like they had figured something out. But now we're kind of settling into more of the same with Trevor Lawrence. I think tentative is kind of the word that immediately jumps to the forefront of my head whenever I watch him is the fact that, and maybe it's unfair, but you just don't see a guy that seems purely in control of what he's doing and is decisive with those throws. There kind of seems to be some nervousness just on the eye test. Now, where am I in the future? I mean, the guy's got the job. He hasn't been so pitiful where you say, oh my God, are the Jaguars going to stay with Trevor Lawrence at the end of 2 years? No, he's locked and loaded. He's going to be the guy. They're going to give this a little bit of leash. I was watching these games here in the early window, and, you know, Jalen Hurts having a huge game. Who else is having a huge game there? A.J. Brown. You know, you mentioned DeAndre Hopkins makes that great one-handed catch, kind of saves a bad pass for Kyler Murray. You look at Tua with Waddle and with Tyreek Hill. I bring all that up because today those guys are having big games, big moments, big catches for their QBs. Jacksonville and some others, I don't know if they have that yet. They don't have that stud wide receiver. I hate jumping to a conclusion on a Fields, jumping to a conclusion on Lawrence when they don't have that guy. If you look at Tua, if you look at Hurts, heck, even Murray in the last 2 weeks with Hopkins, having that guy who's been there, done that, and done it for a few years makes a huge difference. They don't have that in Jacksonville. So, you know, is it Christian Kirk? I don't think anybody thought it would be. That's a piece, but that's not the piece. They still need to get him that stud wide out like so many of these other younger quarterbacks are starting to get.
So I'm just looking here. We had a conversation about Chris Godwin earlier. I just want to get your sense from a redraft perspective. Are people fed up with Chris Godwin at this point?
Well, they're fed up, but honestly, outside of touchdowns, which is like, you know, kind of regression stuff and luck stuff and in the moment stuff, things you can't predict. What's awful with Chris Godwin? There's a ton of targets. There's a lot of catches. Newsflash for you, Tampa Bay is going to pass 45 times every single week from here on out.
Yeah.
Like they will be over 40, and I would say the average will be about 45 the rest of the season. Their rushing attack is nil. It's done. The offensive line can't do anything. Fournette's bottled up constantly. We know they like to pass. It's not like they have a quarterback who can't handle passing 45 times. So that's why I'm still in on Godwin. Is that there's going to be so many targets still available. And I wouldn't be surprised at all, Holden, if over the last 8 games or so, we've got 5 or 6 touchdowns. Like that stuff should even up. And with all the passing, I'm still there with Godwin. It's fine to be fed up, but honestly, he's involved. Maybe it's not exactly the way you'd like to be involved, but who coming into the year said, oh, the Buccaneers offense, that Bucs offense, they're going to have growing pains. They're going to struggle. It's going to be like pulling teeth. Nobody said that. You had Tom Brady. You had Julio Jones coming in. You had Fournette, Evans, Godwin, all these guys, even Cameron Braid. Everybody thought that would be a top 6, top 7 offense. They're not. And so that's now kind of just descending all the way through the roster. It's eliminating touchdowns for Chris Godwin. It's eliminating some yardage for Chris Godwin. But I'm a big fan of quantity. And again, it's coming. It's coming. They're going to keep throwing. He's going to keep racking up catches. And I think the touchdowns will follow.
Thomas, just a quick update here. Gesicki went over the 2.5 receiving prop. You don't give a shit, but it's good for me. The total of 51.5. We are at 27-24. We need one more point.
I think you'll get it.
I think we're going to get it too. We got Tyreek sitting at 9 for 163. We got Waddle at 7 for 88 and 2 touchdowns. This is the other thing Thomas and I were talking about. Like in fantasy, I honest to God think you can just interchange Tyreek and Jalen Waddle on a week-to-week basis. I get it. Tyreek's going for 160 yards every other week, literally every other week. But Waddle's every bit as, I feel he's every bit as good. They do different things, but they're every bit as good as Tyreek Hill.
I wouldn't dispute it. Yeah, I wouldn't dispute it at all. And I'm a little surprised how willing Miami has been to kind of air it out. But then you think about it, why wouldn't you? So it's good to see they're embracing the nature of what their receivers are. Sometimes you see these teams go out and make a move for a guy like Tyreek Hill, and then they say, oh, we're not going to use you the way you were used where you were so successful. Miami's not doing that. They're using Tyreek Hill. They're airing it out. They are asking Tua to make some throws, and kind of surprising to me, he's making them. You know, you were talking about the scoring. I don't know if you guys noticed this. You probably mentioned it. If you look at the 7 games that we have going on here, I think at the end of the first half, we were over 200 real-life points in those 7 games, which we haven't had that all season, I don't think. This, you know, it's early, obviously. What are we, 2 hours into the day? But this is shaping up as like the best overall fantasy day we've had all season in terms of point totals. Like we're getting a lot on. We got big games going on with Hill, with Waddle, with A.J. Brown, with Jalen Hurts, Alvin Kamara. It's like turn back the clock day for Alvin Kamara. He's getting a load of touches. He's involved in the receiving game, the rushing attack. So we're in the early stages, guys, of what could be, you know, our best fantasy week we've got of all of the entire season.
Hey, Kyle, I'm a huge college football guy. And 2 years ago, I thought on a per play basis, per touch basis, the most explosive player in the country was Kadarius Toney. Now, he goes to New York. It hasn't worked out. Obviously, there's nothing's gone right. Now he goes to the Chiefs. Are you more the same?
I'm thinking more of the same. We talked about this a lot on Lunch Money this week, and I know I'm probably in the minority to many in the fantasy community because they're all in Mahomes and all. My issue with Toney, and I've never met the guy. None of us have met the guy, I don't believe. You know, I can only go off of what I see, which is a guy pouting his way out of town after like a year. Like, seriously, pouting your way out of town. You say it didn't go right. He kind of chose to let it not go right, it sounds like. You know, this hamstring injury that was supposed to be day-to-day, and it's been 8 weeks. And then immediately he gets traded to Kansas City. He's like, God, thank you so much. I got out of New York. It's like you never gave New York a shot. And they needed you, and you still wouldn't get back on the field. Now, that may be unfair. You know, maybe he's truly injured and both hamstrings are shot. But I've got questions about kind of what's going on, you know, inside the helmet, perhaps with Toney. Beyond that, the idea of guys going to Kansas City is one we always get pumped about. Like, because, hey, it's Andy Reid, it's Pat Mahomes, it's an offense that scores like crazy. They are very good. They're exciting. They score. They move the football. Patrick Mahomes is in his own orbit as a quarterback for the most part, but they spread things around like crazy, and everybody's involved. And every week they have a guy scoring a touchdown that you didn't even know was on the roster, and he's not on fantasy rosters anywhere. Tony is also, in effect, kind of a third or fourth receiving option. We haven't seen anything from this kid. We don't know how it's going to fit. We don't know what his attitude is. There'll probably be a game or two that is pretty nice for Kadarius Toney. But overall, it's not like I'm going to the waiver wire and spending big bucks to add him. I don't have expectations of him being like a top 35 receiver the rest of the way. So I'm generally cool on the idea of Tony going to the Chiefs.
What's your take on Deontay Johnson going forward? I mean, the ADOT's like -6 yards.
Yeah.
He's still getting targeted 100 times. He's just not putting it together. What am I doing with this guy?
You know what he is? He's the Pittsburgh rushing attack now.
Oh,
It's not Najee Harris. It's let's throw the ball 4 yards to Deontay Johnson, because they can't even get 4 yards running the ball. So their new rushing attack is just a quick out, a two-step drop to Deontay Johnson at the line of scrimmage. It's a PPR play only. I mean, honestly, if you're in a non-PPR, the plays are probably Claypool and Pickens over Deontay Johnson. There's just no there right now for that Steelers offense. So PPR, you can stomach it. He's not going to be what you were hoping to get. But I know there were concerns about that coming into the season, because you were moving to Mitch Trubisky. You were moving maybe to a rookie QB. So these fears have kind of come home to roost here. It's a letdown, but I would say more of the same, which is not going to make anybody happy with Johnson.
What do you think about Foreman in Carolina? I mean, I've held on to him for weeks. I didn't start him last week. And it's 2 good games in a row. Can we expect this moving forward? It's on a bad offense who's not getting a ton of touches, not going to score a ton of points, but he seems to be the guy there. How high are you on Foreman for the rest of the season?
Yeah, the whole issue, and I got to pull the schedule up. The whole issue I got is, how's game script going to treat him? Because Carolina, I mean, this week they've got Atlanta. That's not an offense that is ever going to just blow you out of the building. Now, last week, I think we would have thought, hey, the Bucs are going to blow the Panthers out of the building. There's not going to be any rushing attack there for the Panthers. And then we got shocked. Like, it's probably going to go down as the most stunning game of the year was Tampa going to Carolina and getting their face punched in by the Panthers. So we got extra runs there. We're getting some extra runs here. If you look at the schedule, like next week, they're at Cincinnati. My gut read says they're going to be trailing by 10 plus points for most of that game. So what does Foreman become? That's probably my biggest concern, Tom, is that you just can't look at this guy and say, yeah, man, every week 12 to 14 carries. That's going to happen, because the Panthers are frankly one of the 5 or 6 worst overall teams in football. So it's going to be driven more by that scoreboard. Again, that being said, is he a starting running back for people? Hey, many are desperate. So going with Dante Foreman's not the worst thing. It's better than a handcuff right now, because he is the lead back. Even in those games where he doesn't get a lot of carries, you can still get the random touchdown from 3 yards out that happens early in the game. So I think you've got a guy who's probably a top 30 running back the rest of the season. We'll see how long Hubbard's out. I don't think it's going to be long, but I will say when Hubbard's back, that will carve in a bit to Foreman. I still think he'll be the main cog running the football, but Hubbard's going to get his looks too.
All right, Kyle, likely my last one for you. Let me break in here. Devontae Adams has a catch.
Hey.
He also has 3 yards. So
he's become Deontay Johnson today.
I don't think he's feeling good. I don't think he's feeling good at all. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm going to make an excuse for him. Second of all, we were talking about running backs. I like Foreman when Hubbard's gone, but I like Tyler Algier a little bit more. Here's a 25-yard touchdown moments ago. The guy's starting to get the volume. He's on a shitty team. They never pass. Why not Algier?
Well, is Patterson back next? And hey, I'm not a Cordero Patterson guy, but the Falcons are Patterson guys. Yeah, that would be my concern. I've struggled a bit, and this is one of those things of I'm not fully in tune with the Atlanta Falcons and everything there. It's kind of one of those teams where, like, man, do I have to watch the Falcons? Like, even when Red Zone flips over to them, I that's the time to go make a sandwich when the Falcons are on the screen. I still feel Algier's healthy. Huntley's there. Then you bring back in Patterson. Fine for the time being if you're rolling with Algier or even with Huntley, who's got 10 carries today. But I think eventually Patterson's back in there. They're going to go back to him. They're going to use him plenty. Now you got like 3 dudes in the backfield. It's like a poor man's San Francisco now in that backfield of just like random guys, or even Baltimore. It kind of becomes like what the Ravens have going on in their backfield. So, it's not droppable, but I think now is maybe the best it gets, if you will, for an Algier Huntley, unless another injury were to happen down the stretch.
All right, Kyle. Wonderful to see you. Plug the show, and then we'll get you out of here. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, plug the show. Noon to 3 Eastern, Monday through Friday. Me, Ray Flowers. We'll be recapping all this stuff. Tomorrow's our day, and Holden time. You guys have been here plenty. We don't have to like live by rules or take breaks at certain times. None of that. On Mondays, we go for about a full 95 to 100 minutes right off the top of the show. And it's everything we were thinking as we watched all these games. Tomorrow's the day. It's the longest segment maybe in the history of internet broadcast. I don't know. Maybe it's 100 minutes of nothing but football, nothing but fantasy takes. Ray yelling at the clouds and me trying to pull him back down. So that'll be fun. We do that every Monday, but 12 to 3 each and every day.
You never think, you look at Ray, you're like, what a nice, you never think how angry he is. Just an angry man.
Here's the funny thing. Like Sunday mornings, I'm open. I don't do anything on Sunday morning. I got family time. Ray is still doing like Twitter stuff, and it's he's out on the West Coast, so he's angry anyway because he's got to get up early, all that stuff. and every morning, whenever I finally log into like my email, I'll see like a G chat message from Ray, and inevitably every Sunday, it's yelling at me as he yells at people who continue to ask him the same question over and over and over again, and so he's. From the first, morning break on a Sunday, the man is already angry. The man is already upset. He loves doing this stuff, but he tires of how, I guess, Twitter can be a wee bit repetitive with lineup questions. So I let him handle that. Hopefully by Monday he'll be calm and we can fire him back up again during the show.
I liked working with him because I knew I could tilt him very quickly. There's just certain fantasy questions. He just loses it, and it's always fun to watch him lose it.
If I need energy from Ray, I'll just bring up like Josh Gordon or something.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray.
Oh my God.
Kyler Murray. Hey, Kyler Murray. I mean, the guy could like literally could turn water into energy overnight. We'd still be moaning about Kyler Murray.
Can't stand him either. All right, Kyle and Ray, Lunch Money presented by FantasyGuru.com. Thank you, Kyle.
Holden,
thanks a lot, Kyle.
Stuff. You have a good afternoon. Enjoy the games, okay, man?
You too.
All right, Lions Dolphins hits the over, so cash that one. If you had over in Panthers Falcons, that goes over as well. Rivera bringing up in our chat, how in the world did Fields not touch Parsons on the turnover?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, why? I don't know.
He jumped over him.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens. So that's another thing. Show bet, Dolphins plus 5.5. They're up 31-27. 14-40 to go. They're starting to kind of churn down. Fourth quarter now, okay? We're getting to go time here, and we got some good games. This Jets-Patriots game is definitely in the balance. I'm sitting on an under 41.5 in this game, Thomas. It's 19-10. Patriots over the Jets with 14 minutes to play. This one's just going about as I thought it would, and I'm here to say for the 10 trillionth time, Zach Wilson is a game manager. He is not a franchise quarterback. He's not even going to be as good as Jimmy Garoppolo. He is a guy. Zach Wilson is a guy. Agree or disagree?
I worry about, like, when I watched him play in college, he's one of those guys against bad defenses, he lit them up. He played one good defense in Coastal Carolina, and he didn't play that well. So that stuff makes me nervous. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy in college. Ask Mac Jones. His receivers were open by 30. I talked to a guy years ago, a scout, who said he was having trouble scouting Brandon Whedon because in a Big 12, every receiver is open by 30 yards. So how do we know he can get them in a tight windows? And I feel like that was Zach Wilson in college. So I tend to agree with you. I haven't closed the book on him yet, but I'm not sure he's going to be that dynamic quarterback we saw in college.
I mean, I'm a big fan of his off-the-field exploits, just banging Miller.
Yeah.
But as far as a
yeah, baby,
just I'm just not there with this dude. Let's come back. I want to go over this leaderboard again. We got big moment coming up in Atlanta where Carolina's down 21-13 in the fourth, but the Panthers have the ball at the 1. Terrace Marshall was just out of bounds. Thank God Terrace Marshall's finally getting some run too. Uber talented, just never got the shot. Kyler throws an interception. Your little friend just threw a pick down 21-17, 5 to go in the third. Yeah, email me another loser board too. Just put Devontae Adams at the top. Then you can throw Kyler in there, the little guy with a little interception. We'll come back. We'll talk about some leaders today. Loser board later in the hour. And Dante Foreman just got into the end zone for the second time this game. Hip, hip, hooray. It is the Bettor Zone on the Bettor Sports Network.
Bettor Zone. The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I got to tell this story, okay? So we're out in Canton, Ohio, and we decide to go eat late at night, like after midnight. We decide to go to the Waffle House. Somehow, Fensty's never been there, even though he lives near it. I'm in New York, New Jersey. There's no Waffle House close by. So if you go to the Waffle House, what are you going to eat more than likely? Pancakes, waffles, eggs, and all that, right? So, of course, our guy Rich, he gets breakfast. I get breakfast. Fensty doesn't. He's never been to a Waffle House. How do you not have waffles? Like, it makes no sense.
Dude, there's a time for waffles.
I eat breakfast at midnight. Come on, man.
That's the thing. I didn't want breakfast, man. I got like, what was it, like a cheesesteak sandwich or something like that?
That's like someone who has never been to IHOP going there and ordering a burger. Who does that?
That I wouldn't do. That I would not.
That's the equivalent of what you did. Well, I don't even know what you had.
I got the steak sandwich, which was
steak sandwich at the Waffle House. Never been there, and that's what you get. You're an odd guy, man. You're an
I'm not an odd guy.
Yes, you are. Can we get a vote? Can we get a vote in the chat, please? I mean, if you've never been to Waffle House and you get a steak wrap, something's wrong with you, right? Don't you have to get waffles and eggs and bacon and all that? It's the Waffle House.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was my first time, okay? Ordering the hash browns was already complicated enough. Smothered and covered, and it's almost like it's crazy how much combinations you can have. And I know that everybody's killing me for it right now. And no, to our producers, I don't get pasta at a steakhouse or anything like that. No,
Alfredo. That's what he gets at the steakhouse.
Do you follow me on Instagram? I'm always on that grill. You know how much I love steak. Why would I go to a steakhouse to get pasta?
Because you go to Waffle House to get steak wraps. That's why.
I didn't know it was all waffles, bro. I thought it had like a little bit of everything. That's why. You know, I didn't realize they were famous for the waffles. Hey, look.
You know, the name of the place is the Waffle House. What else would they be famous for?
You know what? That's fine. I guess it's a hot take getting a steak sandwich. As long as it was good, I housed that thing in 10 seconds.
Okay, you were never there, and that's the first time. You're not going to try a waffle? Do you admit it was a mistake?
I don't really like waffles, man.
Bettor Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
Fields checking the play. Play clock winding down. Takes and hands off. Herbert on the cutback to the 10, to the 5. No end zone.
Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! Juice! Herbert dancing with his teammates on the Cowboy Navy Blue. And we got ourselves a ball game. Handoff, Pollard stars a hole in left side 10. Cuts right 5. Walk the dog, you Tony Pollard. Walk that dog. Touchdown, Dallas. Fields in the gun. Back to throw. Parsons coming. He flushes out left. He stops. He dumps it short to the 25. Still moving Montgomery. Fumble the ball. Recovered by Dallas. Micah Parsons is on the ball.
And it's still alive.
He's still running. He's still moving with the ball. To the 10, to the 5, to the goal line. Parsons recovered a fumble and brought it all the way back.
No one touched him down, Brad. There was a Bears offensive player who actually jumped over Micah Parsons when Parsons was on the ground with the ball, and I don't think he made contact.
Bettor Zone.
So thanks to the Cowboys Radio Network, the Bears Radio Network, the Cowboys and the Bears, by the way, Thomas. I thought this Detroit game would be the highest total. The Chicago-Dallas total just a minute ago was 79.5. And now it's sitting at a solid 78 with Dallas up 42-23. So for those of us that were waiting for a good week in the NFL, offensively, we got it. We got a 70.5 in Detroit. We got a 78 in Dallas. We've got a 60.5 in Minnesota, where Dalvin Cook just ran one in, 28-17 Minnesota over Arizona. We also, we got a 55 in the Steelers and the Eagles at this point. So there's been some scoring today. And you know what? The leaderboard, NFL on the leaderboard today. Good job. We got points, man. And your Cowboys, woo, when we get to the leaderboard, Dak's going to be right there. Dak is going bananas. Holy moly. 242, 2 touchdowns, did throw a pick, ran for 36 and a touchdown. Tua has the ball again, by the way. Is Campbell getting fired after this game? They're going to let him go, right? They're going to let him go to the end of the year, and then they'll fire him, right? You're on mute, buddy. Or I can't hear you. Maybe it's my fault. Might be on my end.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't do anything.
I got you. You're back.
Okay. I was saying maybe I see things differently than people, but I can't imagine watching Hard Knocks and then everybody betting on the Lions to be good. I watched that and I thought, this is how NFL franchises are run. You got coaches talking trash to each other on the practice field. You got a coach doing up downs and push ups with the players. That stuff is great if you're 5 or 6-1. Okay, it doesn't play when you lose. I remember going to a Jets training camp with Rex Ryan, and every time somebody fumbled, he had like everybody do push-ups, even like interns and cameramen. You know where Eric Decker and Chris Johnson and the rest of the veterans were? They were over riding the bike, bad hamstrings. They were telling jokes, they were laughing it up. Wade Phillips, the same thing. Eventually, players will take advantage of these guys if they're not winning.
All right, everybody's favorite lull guy, Kyler Murray, has just come up with a big pass. 28-17 Vikings over the Cards. Let's get to the leaderboard, though. Talk about some good quarterbacks, not Kyler Murray. But, again, there's 3 guys. If you have Kamara, A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, really 4th guy, Tyreek Hill, you're sitting in a good spot. You're sitting in a good spot. Jalen Hurts, though, has eclipsed Tua for the number 1 quarterback today, Mr. Casale. 285, 4 touchdowns for Hurts.
You're incredible.
He's got it. Like, him and Josh Allen are the front runners for MVP now, right? Like, we have to start taking Hurts legitimately. I still think Allen has a sizable lead, but how many times is Jalen Hurts going to throw for, close to 304 touchdowns with us not saying he's got a shot to take down Josh Allen?
Yeah, listen, hey, whenever I used to hear Jalen Hurts talk in college, I used to think I'd vote for this guy for president. He's like one of the most impressive young kids I've ever seen. Leader, everything you want, like your kid to be. But I never really knew if he was going to be this good in the NFL. I wasn't sure if he could make all the passes consistently. But man, has he, listen, here's the thing, Holden, you could have thought one way about Lamar Jackson once, and maybe you were right. But when there's more data, sometimes you have to change your opinion, right? Like Lamar Jackson, don't tell me he can't throw the football. Lamar Jackson can throw the football, all right? Jalen greatly over the last 2 seasons. So to just stick to an opinion because it was your opinion, that's not intelligence in my book. So I have to change my thoughts on Jalen Hurts. He is phenomenal, and I'd vote for him right now for MVP.
I am making a live show bet here, buddy. I'm going to go over.
What we got now?
Oh, they just put the juice to 160. All right, over 52 in the Carolina-Atlanta game. They just closed the goddamn thing. I wonder if Atlanta scored. I really wanted to get in on that, Casale. It was, and there goes Mariota around the corner. No, he got stopped. So over 52, I want to hit this line. I'm not going to do it at minus 145. That's a silly line, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to eat that juice. Because then you get into a habit of betting 145s. You're going to lose a lot of money long term. It's just, it's factual.
But, let's talk about the 4. You know what's interesting to me, Holden, a lot? This happens in college, too. I mentioned it yesterday. Like, if you start to see some big upsets, sometimes the day takes on a theme, even though each game own entity, right? Like the game at 10 o'clock doesn't know what happened to the game at noon. It's not the same thing. But sometimes you get themes during the day. Like sometimes you'll see like 12 missed extra points in a random Sunday, right? Like it all just comes together. This feels like a day where there's just going to be points. So maybe if you're looking at those 4 o'clock games, just ride it, because I think there's going to be points in the Seahawks game. I'll tell you that. So we might see just one of those games where everybody but the Raiders scores points.
Okay, I hit it. Over 51.5 Carolina, Atlanta. I think we're going to get a field goal here.
Yeah, field goal here.
So we'll have a 24-21 lead for Atlanta. This game has really opened up. We got a little over 7 minutes to play. So, I mean, I could get totally screwed, 3 field goals, but I'm already on Carolina. I'm backing them at +4.5. Let's go with the over 51.5 while we're at it. So we'll try and clean up on that one. Okay, more of the leaderboard. So Tua is going to be the leading point scorer at quarterback. He's got more time. He's in a close game. Hurts has 28.4. Tua has 28.3. 355, 3 touchdowns. He's run for 21 yards. Then there's Dak at 25.28. You're getting big quarterback scores this week, folks. 25.28, 242, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 36 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Lamar and Kirk Cousins rounding out the top 5 with Justin Fields sitting at number 6. Okay. We've just had some weird weeks, you know. It's like one week it was Geno Smith and freaking Carson Wentz, and the next week it's somebody else. Kamara still atop the leaderboard, 42.8 PPR at running back. 62 yards rushing, a touchdown, 9 catches, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne second at 25.2 this morning. Dante Foreman, Casali, he has picked up, buddy. He has picked up 23.8, 2 touchdowns, 98 yards rushing. I love what Dante Foreman's done today. Spectacular.
Yeah, and, you know, he looked good last year coming in for Henry. Remember when Henry was hurt? I mean, he played well. So, you know, he's a talented guy. But, you know, I do agree with what Kyle said about the game script, right? Some of these games, Carolina might be down 30-0, so you're going to limit. But touchdown, I think he's an interesting guy moving forward if he can stay healthy. Now, he's had some injury problems in the past.
He has. Other running backs with big days, like I told you, Kamara, Etienne, Foreman. Dalvin Cook is 4th at 21.7, 92 yards, a touchdown, 4 catches, 25. Tony Pollard doing what we thought he'd do, 20.5, 59 yards on only 10 carries, though, Thomas. Only 10 carries for Pollard today. And
still limiting the carries even with
what are they doing? They just don't feel like he can handle the pounding. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, they want to get him out in space. And so, I mean, I think today was a good test. It's a game they've been up most of the way, pretty good, and still not really feeding them the football. So, that's how they're going to use him, apparently.
It's just weird. Jamal Williams is 6th behind Pollard. Williams got in the box a couple of times today. Ramondre, 6 catches, 65 yards. He's got 17.9. He's 7th. Rounded out by Kenyon Drake, Fournette, DeAndre Swift, and Melvin Gordon. Is that a touchdown, Cole Kmet, or was he out of bounds? That is a touchdown. So let's see if that total's gotten up to 100 yet, Thomas.
I mean, there's 13 minutes left in that game. Like, I keep looking up at these games thinking they're almost over, and the whole quarter's left in this Cowboys-Bears game.
It's only 80.5. Now, I've never bet on over 80.5. But let's talk about this for a second. We're at 71 points. There's 12 minutes left in this game. How do they not get 10 more points here? You tell me. I don't know. I don't want to bet an 80.5. Actually, it just dropped to 78.5.
Well, there you go.
That's just a touchdown, a field goal, or a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. Any interest there?
Yeah, I like the over.
You want to bet it? Show bet? We go in with
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
I mean, we're getting even money. Here, I found a 79.5, right? Is that what I told you we had anyway? 78.5.
Yeah, let's go 78. Yeah.
All right, over.
Yep.
I can't believe I just bet a 78.5 to the over. All right, it's in.
What if I told you I have Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, and combined they've got – do you believe that?
I would, because I have a little Devontae Adams prop bet that I told you about. And
what
I'm
if I
really
told
pissed
you
off
that
about
Kirk
it.
Cousins stinks? Would you believe that?
Wide receiver leaderboard. This gets really interesting at the top. These Miami guys are going bananas. But who's number one? AJ Brown's still number one. He's got a 156, 3 touchdowns off of 6 catches. Jalen Waddle, 2. He's at 30.6. 8 catches, 106 and 2. Tyreek Hill, 4th time this year over 160 yards. As a matter of fact, he's got 161 off 10 catches and a rush for 7 yards. DeAndre Hopkins hits 100, 8 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers is 5, 9 for 60 and a touchdown. Rounding out the top 10, Rondale Moore. I'm surprised he's still getting some run there with Arizona since Hopkins came back, but he is. CeeDee Lamb 7th, Mike Evans, Jerry Jeudy, Garrett Wilson top 10. Last one for you would be tight end, which was kind of an abyss today. Wasn't too excited, but Kyle Pitts has just gone off the rails. He had his breakout. 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown, 19 points. He's number 2 behind Isaiah Likely at 19.7. Pitts is probably going to be the leader by the end of this slate. Oh, our boy Moore. All right, DJ Moore, you woke up. He went over his total of 59.5 receiving yards. We cashed that one. Conklin, 16.1. Evan Engram this morning, 15.5. Dalton Schultz, healthy now, Thomas. I think that's big. Big for that offense. He's got 6 catches for 74 yards. He had been a non-factor this season. This might be the first week where he's actually healthy. Yeah.
When you look at the tight ends that are available, I still think he's one of the better options as long as he can stay on the field. Dak likes throwing to the tight ends. They had in previous years with Wilson and Amari Cooper gone. So, yeah, no, I like him.
Here comes Carolina, right back at him, man. Right back at him.
It's alive!
That's a fun. All these games are fun, Thomas. I'm having a lot of fun. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about the games. Actually, I'm actually happy to catch up with you again. It really is fun. Dave Pullen in the chat. By the way, if you want to talk with the great Thomas Casale or me, hit us up in the chat. And then while you're at it, if you don't want to ask us a question or a comment, have a comment, hit the fun button because it's a lot of fun. So Dave Pullen, middling is something we could try to do. I heard Kazarian explain it on a podcast. If you bet a team pregame -4, you live bet the other team +10. You can win both. Can you talk about that middling, basically? And yeah.
So if you bet one, middling is that's why it's always hard to say like what the sharps are on. Sometimes the sharps are on 3 different plays in the same game. This is how they bet. They're looking for the best number. Then live, they'll come in again on the other team. They're looking to hit this both ways. So that's a more advanced betting strategy that I don't think most people would do. But yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea. And again, when there's more games like in college, easier to do because you can find some good situations there. I try to do it once in a while. I probably don't do it as much as I should. I'm always doing 20 things at the same time, when I'm watching a game. But yeah, it's a great strategy.
When I don't have a show and I can just watch a game, I live bet and I middle the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So if I can find a team, all right, for instance, we had Miami. Let's say we went in and we had Detroit at plus whatever, right? And then we got Miami. We could have gotten them at 185. So you bet 185. And now Detroit is down. So we probably could either get plus money on them coming back and winning, or we still could have gotten on them maybe +8. There's ways to middle these things all day. It's a lot of fun. Essie in the chat. Guys, I got Lockett. I need 12 plus fantasy points. Given his injury, should I keep him? I also have Wan'Dale Robinson and Brandon Cooks. Thoughts? I would say that Lockett is the 3rd guy on that list. I love Wan'Dale Robinson today.
Yeah.
And I am 6 to midnight on this dude today. And I don't know if you know what that means, but just use your imagination. And then Brandon Cooks. So there's no Nico, right? There's no Nico Collins.
Yeah.
So Cook should be completely in play. I'd just say this, Essie, as far as redraft, I would go Cooks 1, although I love Wan'Dale a whole bunch, and then Lockett. And if you got DK Metcalf and you're playing him today, and maybe this comes back and burns me, but if you're playing DK Metcalf today, you're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
The guy can't walk. Okay? You're out of your mind if you're playing DK Metcalf today. I don't think people take injuries enough into it. And I listen, I go back and I look at my bets, and I'm second guessing myself on Devontae Adams. The guy was out with the flu all week. Normally I'll say, all right, the guy has a flu. He can get through it. He's got one catch for 3 yards. And the Raiders are getting blanked 24-0. They're just about to get shut out. I mean, this is unacceptable for the Raiders. They already had no wiggle room. Thomas, they basically have to be perfect the rest of the year to make the playoffs. Plus, they got the Chiefs. They got.
Do they have the Jim Morris soundbite playoffs? What? I don't know. They ain't going to no playoffs. So I can tell you that. I guarantee you that.
Go, Tony Pollard. Go, go, go. Tony Pollard. Woo! 49,
Did we win?
29, buddy. We're close to cashing the over on that one.
Yeah, that was easy money.
Well, it hasn't done it yet, so don't stop it. We're only at 78. Don't you put the kibosh on that, my friend. Don't you put the kibosh on that. Let me go look at Pollard now, because he's having he went from having a good game to having an amazing game. Yeah, he's number 2. So Kamara's got 42.8, Pollard 33.7. 14 carries, 131, a touchdown, 16 yards off a catch, 33.7. So I guess Tony Pollard is a good running back and can handle 20 touches.
Apparently so. Essie's asking if he should play Cooks instead of Lockett. I don't know. I'm on the other side. I would probably play Lockett. Oh, I agree.
Let me go here. I'll go look at the projections. I'll get those.
The Seahawks defense is garbage. And I think the Giants offense is going to have a good day. But based on what we're seeing here, again, we might see some scoring in these late games.
I think Brandon Cooks is the play over Lockett. Lockett's not healthy either.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's not healthy.
We talked about him the last 2 weeks. He has lower body soft tissue issues, and I'm not messing with him. And you know what?
So what about Cooks or Robinson though? Who you start over those?
In a season long, it's Cooks. The
no,
only
today.
reason I like Wanda.
Today, who would you start today?
Cooks.
Okay, so the play here, SC, is Cooks.
Let me go look at the projections real quick again. Cooks is at 15. Lockett's at 12. That's way too high. I got to knock that down. And then Wandale's down there at 11.7. So Cooks 1, Wandale 2, Lockett 3. That's how I'd go. And Better Boss says Marquise Goodwin. That's what I'm saying. Like Marquise Goodwin, Eskridge is another one of those scrubs. Disley. There's going to be other guys that can do it. All right. So there you go. Everything hits the over in the early window. Jets, Pats in the balance. Oh, I need the under in the Jets and Pats. Where are we in the Jets and Pats? I need under 40.5. We're at 32. All right, we're looking okay in that game. I also made that bet on 70.5 Miami, Detroit. How's that looking? 70.5. That's at 58. That's not cashing.
Well, in Miami's got the ball. Detroit went for it on 4th down. Miami's got the ball back. I don't know what happened.
It doesn't matter. It's over. All right, that one's going to be an L. I'm going to get.
I got 3.5 on that, so I need Miami to hang on here.
Carolina and Atlanta over 51.5 or 45. We need a touchdown here. Oh, guess what? Panthers
no, you want
on the door.
Don't you want overtime there?
51.5. That'd be 28-24 would be 52.
Yeah, so they're driving here.
1st and 10 at the 11. If I can go 3 and 4 on totals, that'd be nice. But that Bears Cowboys, we still need a point there. Casale, I'm not going to blame you because I'm not into jinxes, but that would be
I'm not worried.
9 minutes to play, get a field goal or a safety, and you're set.
Oh, now there's only 9 minutes.
What are you talking about? That's not what you said. I don't know what you're talking about. Saints Raiders likely under. Oh, there we go. Cash it. Monte Foreman scores again.
Another one.
There's nothing better than betting overs on a day where there's just scoring left and right. I have been an under better this year, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Foreman now. Let's go look at the leaderboard again. Then we got to go take a
Man, how about the Panthers, though? If they win this game, I mean, they basically were waving the white flag. They got everyone away. They fire their coach. Now they're going to be tied for first. This is shocking. I can't believe it.
All right, cash the over there. Let's go. And I bet you the Panthers are going to cover that 4.5 also. Had I not bet Devontae Adams over yards and one of these other ones, it really would have been an amazing day. Hurts under 19.5 completions. He had to go over that, didn't he? Didn't he just blow through that? He's got 19 with 3:29. They got the ball. Oh, that's going to be a sweat.
They might not throw it again, though.
Huh? Hey, Thomas, are you a volume bettor or do you pick your spots? Me, in all honesty, I've got at least 40 bets out there. And at the end of the day, I just hope, it works out well. Gardner Minshew's in there. We're going to cash the fucking Hurts bet.
Hang on. We're having a pretty good day here.
Woo! A little Ric Flair. Gardner Minshew, baby. I love it. Let's come back. Oh, I got to find the Foreman thing here. He's number 4 on the list now, Thomas. He has, what has he got touchdown-wise? He's got 2. He's only got 2 touchdowns? I thought he had 3. Where's Foreman? What do you got, producers? What do you got? How many touchdowns? Foreman has 3, so that'll have to get updated because he's going to be a top 4 or 5 guy. So Pollard, Foreman, all these guys that are finally getting the workload as bell cows, they're tearing it up. And by the way, why did Tyreek Hill just catch that football and then run before the first down marker? They're going to give him a first down. Let's come back. Loser board. He's Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner. We're having a good time here. Cash the tickets on the Bettor Zone, on the Bettor Sports Network.
Bettor Zone. Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry. Okay, talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach, makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting to bring up.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at like Eton Thomas. Like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right.
Yeah, that can incite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? It's
right. It's interpretation, and that's my
Right.
problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to my team.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Foreman is the running back. The snap. They give us to Foreman. Running behind his left guard, and he sneaks in. Deontay Foreman tried the middle and then went right behind the left guard. And the Panthers have their first touchdown, and they retake the lead. Reaching is the fullback. Foreman the deep back. Goal line formation. They give us to Foreman. Charging ahead. Gets the push. Touchdown, Carolina. Twins to the right. Walker the snap. Hands off Foreman. Up the middle. Breaks a tackle. 5-2. Touchdown. Deontay Foreman from 12 yards out.
Hang out in the Bettor Zone for a better NFL game day experience.
Hey, it's Holden Kushner here, host of the Denver City Cast for Bet Rivers, Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets, my site. Obviously hanging out here with Thomas Casale, Action Network. By the way, did you get a chance to hang out with my good buddy Chris Raybon?
No, I haven't. I do most of my stuff for the Post.
Oh, I love Raybon, man. Him and me,
he's good.
First ever FanDuel podcast. I sold him on it, and I got Raybon in there. And I said to the kid, I said, "You're going to be a star, man." And that guy has turned into a superstar. What a stud! Anyways, here's the updated leaderboard. That was Panthers radio because Dante Foreman now has 3 touchdowns. The updated leaderboard here, Alvin Kamara has kind of cruised in the second half, I suppose. But boy, did he have a huge game today. 62 yards rushing and a touchdown. 9 catches, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Falcons, Damiere Byrd. There's a blast from the past. Damiere Byrd running it in 30-28. Falcons on top. And that over is already cashed. That's good. Wonderful. Top 5 today, running back. Kamara, 42.8. Tony Pollard, 33.7. Dante Foreman, 31.1. This is all PPR. Travis Etienne and Jamal Williams. Whew. It's an interesting leaderboard today. Anything you're sweating here, buddy? Anything at all?
No, I hit the Dolphins by a half a point. I had 3.5, and then I won my A.J. Brown prop. So, I'm just good day for me today so far.
Live bets continue to work out well here on the show.
Yep, live bets. I jinxed our Cowboys over, though, I think. So
you didn't jinx anything.
Should have just shut up about that.
You're going to get one wrong once in a while. We had when the Dolphins fell down by, what were they down? 2 touchdowns early. Back the Dolphins plus 5.5. That cashed pretty easily. The Bears-Cowboys over 78.5. How do we do there?
That's the one I jinxed. We're a half a point away.
Son of a buck. You son of a buck. Carolina-Atlanta live bet goes over the 51.5. I'm still sitting here on a Carolina plus 4.5. How's that looking right now? That'll be.
Well, there's not much time left, and they have the ball. They're covering.
All right, they're down by 3. That's fine. The Raiders game is over. What do you want to do there?
Thank God.
What are we doing here? 2-4 for the Raiders, 2-5 for the Saints. 24-0 Saints. Loser board highlighted by Devontae Adams today. And maybe it's not even his fault. 1 catch for 3 freaking yards? He fell 85 yards short of his prop, Thomas. No! Not even close.
And it's not even like anyone else was doing anything. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, they threw it to everybody else. I mean, nobody did anything on that. Maybe, the worst performance I've seen all season from a team is today by the Raiders. Just an awful performance.
Jets just scored. So now I'll really be sweating out the total. 40 and a hook. Right now it's there. Tyler Conklin went in again? Dude, I thought he was only good with Flacco.
He's back, baby. He's back.
He just scored. What has he got? 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, probably 80-something yards. They haven't.
Every time I look up, a team is scoring a touchdown.
This is awesome.
It's
All right, here's the loser board. Derek Carr, 15 of 26, 101 yards and a touchdown. Without Marshawn Lattimore, by the way, on the other side. Trevor Lawrence stinking up the joint, 18 of 31, 133, a touchdown, 2 picks. You can't stand him. Najee Harris at running back, 4 carries, no yards, 2 catches, 9 yards. I really do think that list Frankie had, once I saw that, like, they might shut this dude down. He's just not the same guy. Damian Harris, 11 for 37. Here's another guy. He's been hurt. Cortland Sutton, a catch for 13 yards. Devontae, a carry for -1 yard, a catch for 3 yards. So what do you get? 0.2? 1.2. Drake London, for some reason, fantasy people still think he's going to produce. I mean, 2 catches, 6 yards. Elijah Moore with a donut. That's not going to help his trade value. Irv Smith, big name in the DFS streets today. Did not produce. 2 catches, 11 yards. Hunter Henry, 1 catch, 22 yards. So now we're coming into the final hour, Thomas. And let's talk about some of the stuff we got going on here. So this Jets-Patriots game, right? $1.51 to play, 22-17. What would that be, 39 points? Any more points?
Yeah.
And I'm dead, but not dead yet. Rather be on this side of things.
The Vikings just missed an extra point, which is big because they're only up 8. So with 8 minutes to go.
Wow, there's a lot of time left in that game, Thomas.
Yeah.
What do we got? 60 points? I bet you that total's got to be in the low 70s, right? What do you say? 71.5? Let's go look it up. I'd set it at 71.5, but who the hell am I? 66.5? Isn't that low? There's not going to be 7 more points in this game, or am I off base here, Thomas?
Well, the only thing is the Cardinals would go for 2, so they'd have to get the 2 if they score the touchdown.
Oh no, I'm not messing with that then. Good point. Good point. That's why they give Casali the big bucks here.
Yeah.
Bears and Cowboys. We still got time in this game, but you know what? I don't believe in jinxes. You fucking jinxed me. Pardon my French.
I jinxed it.
Yeah, you did. Because that ain't going over.
I wouldn't do that. I really
We
wouldn't.
need the Bears to get the ball back and get one of those touchdowns in the final minute. That's gone against me 4 times the last 2 days. So let's get one going the other way.
You had to put me with Casali, Deutsch. You had to put me with the guy who keeps falling at the end, and he blames Corey Parsons.
Hey, listen, you can say what you want. This is the most money we ever won on this show. Corey was bringing us down with his Mac Jones bullcrap.
Don't blame Corey.
Although it is funny because Corey isn't here and the Patriots are covering today.
I'm not allowed to say F-bombs. Sorry, guys, if that offended you. I'm a little frustrated, though. And it was natural. It wasn't contrived. Like, when you're not on the air, how many F-bombs do you usually say during a football game?
Quite a few.
Yeah. I'd say after we get off of this and I'm watching the end of the 4 o'clock games, there will be so many. So many. The Dolphins did end up beating the Lions 31-27. Mostert, I lost that one by 2.5 yards. His prop was 66.5 rushing. He ends up with 64. But Tyreek, 188 off 12 catches, and Waddle, 8 for 106 and 2 touchdowns. And Gesicki went over his prop, 3 for 38 and a touchdown. It's just every week, just fire up your over props when you're facing Detroit.
Yeah.
It's just too easy.
Yeah, you have to. So I don't know what's going to happen with Dan Campbell, but just keep this in mind. They played Buffalo on Thanksgiving, and people always talk about the London game. There's been coaches fired on that National Turkey Day game when they lay an egg, right? Like it's an embarrassment for the franchise. So I would watch right there. If Buffalo blows them out on Thanksgiving, I think Campbell's probably gone.
I still don't understand what people saw in them thinking that they were going to be a playoff team. It just doesn't make sense to me. They're poorly coached.
Hard Knocks. I watched Hard Knocks and I started betting every Lions under I could find. I was like, this is the biggest joke franchise I've ever seen.
I mean, there's we talk about sharp. There's sharp dudes that were like, oh, they're going to the playoffs. They're a really good team. No, they're not. They're awful. They're absolutely awful.
Listen, people love those speeches and all that nonsense they do. I remember the year Jameis was on there. Jameis has a speech for everything. Jameis, he buys a new car, he's got a speech. I mean, Jameis, all he does is give speeches, and everybody fell in love. Oh my God, Jameis is great. Let's bet the Bucks. 7-9, Jameis threw 31 picks. So it's all it is reality TV.
Cash the under in the Jets and Patriots. There's 40 and a hook. It finishes 22-17. Patriots on top. It's been a fun day so far. Winning is fun, isn't it, Thomas?
Yep.
Winning is fun. 28-24. Falcons trailing Carolina. There is big play here for the Falcons. They just took the lead. Oh my goodness gracious! That was the Damiere Byrd play, right? So they're up by 3.
Yeah. We saw that. They got the lead.
Did. They just showed it on Red Zone, and I got freaked out. So $1:45 left. Carolina's going to have the ball. Let's get some more DJ Moore. Let's get him like 80 yards at a touchdown. It was intercepted, almost. Did they pick it off or no? I'm watching right now. This game might be over if there was an interception by the Falcons, and it does look like it. The good news is that Carolina is going to cover the 4.5. The bad news is they ain't going to win.
And the bad news for Cardinals bettors is Kyler Murray.
Hello to my little friend.
What a donkey. Seriously. Like, you give him all of that. He loves playing Call of Duty instead of studying the playbook. And you know what? He signed a contract when they still had it in there that he had to study his playbook. There's something to that.
The thing is like the mob mentality of people on social media. Everybody got offended by it. Listen, they didn't just come up with that out of the air. If they put that in there, there's something like you said, there's something going on. I just love how people don't ever analyze anything and just they're outraged over everything. Maybe the guy is a jerk. Maybe he doesn't put in any time. Maybe he's just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, throwing the ball all over the place. Maybe that's what they see. Obviously, there's something wrong here because the team is about to drop to 3-5. They nosedived last year, and they gave this guy a ton of money.
All right, 4:00 bets. Here's what I got, Thomas. Tennessee, Houston, just about ready to kick off. I got Derrick Henry's overs and everything. And alternate yards and touchdowns. I got Malik Willis over 39.5 rush yards. So I'm thinking that Tennessee's going to run for 400 yards today. That's what I'm thinking.
They might. Texans can't stop anybody.
No, they can't. What else is there in the afternoon slate? I think that's the biggest ones right now. What do you have in the 4:00 that you're betting? I got to look through the rest of them. Like I said, I just bet so much, but what do you got?
The only thing I have is the Giants Seahawks over.
You got the Giants Seahawks over.
Yeah, over 45. I think there's going to be some points in that game.
What do you like? Here's my hesitation to this. My only hesitation is that Metcalf and Lockett are both banged up. But you're thinking Kenny Walker can get it done on the ground?
Yeah, and I also think the Giants, I kind of like the Giants a little bit in this game. I didn't play it. I'm going to wait and see what happens at the beginning. I think the Giants can do – I think Barkley's going to have a huge game. The Seahawks, they played a high-scoring game with the Saints. I just think their defense is terrible. Plus, we're seeing all these crazy games today. Watch Tennessee, Houston. Watch them score 70 points today.
We've got so those are the big ones right now. I probably should make a bet on Wan'Dale Robinson receiving yards, but I think what I'm going to do is wait till that game. Oh, there's Derrick Henry busting a big one. Let's go.
Already.
Let's get 200 today, D. Henry. Woo!
Wait a second. Didn't you tell SC not to start Wan'Dale Robinson?
Huh? I told him to over Brandon Cooks. No.
So why don't you have a Brandon Cooks prop then?
Because his yards are up there, man.
Oh, all right.
You know how
this is going to be. This is going to be 200 plus for Henry today, I think.
Well, I got a 202 touchdown at like 800 plus 800. I went absolutely nuts on that guy today, and I really hope it pays off. The only other outstanding bets, and I think we'll be betting this one quite live. Like, how long was that run for Henry? That had to be about 50 yards, right? He might cash his prop in the first half.
Let me see. 41 yards.
Stay healthy, dog. I think that was it. Kenneth Walker over 80.5 yards I have, Thomas. Kenneth Walker over 80.5. Listen, that is a high number, but I must say he is a really talented running back on a
talented, yeah.
On a team with two injured wide receivers, the top two that are injured. And that was tough for me to pass up this week, Thomas. So
yeah, and I mean, look at Michigan State. Without Michigan State's offense is terrible. That quarterback is awful. That offense, when they had him last year, he's a hell of a player. He's really, really good.
What's your take on Jonathan Taylor? He is in a smash spot against the Commanders. I think he's going to get a ton of run. He has disappointed this season. His rushing prop is 74.5. It is very, very manageable. The question is, do we believe? And I'm going to ask anybody in the chat here: Are you going over or under 72.5 on Jonathan Taylor? I'd like to know. Throw it in the chat. Hit the fun button. That's a lot of fun too. But
I'm going to go over today. I'm going to go over today.
You're going over just because it's an over day?
Just like you said, I think he's back a couple of weeks now from he's got a nice matchup. The Colts are a hard team for me to peg. It's one of those teams I'm not right on a lot. I just thought they would be better. I'm not a Matt Ryan fan, but I think they just continue to fall short. It'll be interesting to see what they do here with a new quarterback. Sometimes that's a jolt. Sometimes it isn't. I'm surprised Sam Ehlinger is starting a game in the NFL. I lost a bet to someone on that somewhere. But, I think Taylor gets the ball a lot. I think it's going to be that might – listen, if that game – that's it. Every game other that's outside of the Raiders is going to be high scoring this week.
All right, I can't bet that at a principal right now. That'll be a live bet target then. Let's see. I don't know how many of you live bet. It's not like there's a lot of, how do we say, it's not like there's a lot of places to have live bet over the last decade or so. It's something I've really gotten into these last 4 years. And normally I think you need to have a plan. Now, look, Thomas and I were looking at these games today. He's going, all these games are going over, right? I'm saying to myself, all right, let's look at the path to get it to it. I think we're 4-1 on the live bets with the totals, 3-1, 4-1. I'm going to target Jonathan Taylor and see if I can get him a little bit lower. Maybe he has a slow first drive and we get this under 70 yards. Every yard is going to count with him today. Better boss, rookie QB, hard to project what's going to happen. Ellinger's back there. You're a college guy. He ran a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he runs.
What's his prop? 28.5 yards. I think I'm just going to target this game rushing then. We'll go Taylor and then Ellinger's 28.5, and I can't bet that.
Yeah, the Falcons kicked a field goal late to cover that game.
Is it over?
I don't think it's over.
But I never party. And then did the Bears Cowboys go under too?
Yep, I jinxed that good.
No! Oh, yeah, the Panthers aren't going to cover either. Everything was going great, and then those two games did not go great. So
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
We'll be fine. Hopefully, Carolina could just get a big bomb and kick a field goal. And then that'll be good. I know they don't want to. It doesn't do anything for them, but it helps me.
Yeah, these two games, a lot of spread drama here. The Cardinals have the ball down 8. Line there was 3.5, 4 on the Vikings. And Carolina's been covering all game. Now that not covering, has the ball, some desperation time there.
I mean, that was woo. This is good stuff, though. So 2 games coming down to the wire. 29 seconds left with the Falcons up 34-28. 4.5 was the number I got it at. I did see some 4s. I never saw it get up to 5, Thomas.
No.
Didn't see it.
It was 5 like on the opener. Like really early. I always tell people opener means like the number nobody got unless you're sitting there waiting for it. So right away it was 5 and it got bet down. And I think it was 4 pretty much all week.
Carolina First and 10 now at their own 38.
With the way this day's going, Hail Mary here.
Can hit it, yeah. And I think the biggest losers today had to have been the Raiders. I mean, that was just embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
Not even
Carr
close.
was
Yeah, they're
awful.
the biggest losers by far.
Right? Between Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, and the rest of them. Are you kidding me? Did DJ Moore just do what I needed?
Oh, DJ Moore! He did it! He did it! He caught it! He caught it! DJ Moore! I told you I needed DJ Moore! He just caught a bomb to tie the game at 30.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
We just said it. The way this day's going.
Oh my God, Thomas! You may have totally redeemed yourself. Please tell me there wasn't a flag on Carolina.
Wow.
Please tell me there wasn't a flag. Not only am I going to cover that, my DFS lineup is alive now.
There is a flag. What is it? Post celebration. Maybe they all ran out and celebrated.
Dude, this ball was on their own 38. PJ Walker.
That is amazing. It's that kind of day.
How do you let him get past you? How do you let that happen?
Wow,
That's
what a throw.
Awful.
That was right on the money.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, that safety.
Woo!
Jesus.
I just
What was
got
he
done
doing?
texting our boss. Sorry about the F-bombs. And I had to fight it back right there. Wow.
I wasn't at first. I wasn't quite sure which. I thought maybe you had he went over the prop, and then I saw him unleash it, and I was like, "Oh my God, they scored on this!"
He went over the prop a while. Now hold on. Now DJ, let's go look at the leaderboard. DJ Moore. I'm just looking at DK here, so he probably got the 100-yard bonus. Let's take 3 off. He's got 27.5.
You're incredible.
For DJ Moore now. Let me go see how this is working out. He's the 5th. He's number 5. So we got AJ Brown, 39.6. Tyreek, 31.5. Waddle, 30.6. Hopkins, 30.5. DJ Moore, 27.5. 62-yard touchdown catch. With 12 seconds
Here we
left.
go. The Cardinals.
Are they going to cover too? Are they going to help me cover this?
Is this a first down or no? It looks like it's a little short on 4th.
Oh, shocker. The Cardinals a little short.
Really close. It's really close. I don't know if did they stop. I don't know if someone has a better. Everybody's.
Did he just miss the extra point? We have not covered the Falcons-Carolina game.
No way he misses this.
He just missed the extra point.
Well, you guys. Why is everybody a minute ahead of me?
He just shanked the extra point. What are we doing here?
Oh, and it was the penalty. The celebration penalty. Pushed them back, and they missed the extra point.
You donkeys. What are you doing?
You make me sick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Makes me sick. Sick to my stomach. Absolute disgusting.
Yeah, me and the producer, we must have the slowest internet ever. We're 20 minutes behind everybody.
Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, no, I saw it. I have cable in the other room, and this is my office area. I'm streaming, so I have cable for live betting. You can't watch games and
I do too.
Live bet. Yeah,
well,
so you have to have the fastest.
You can, but you can only bet during breaks, and you really should bet during breaks, anyways, Thomas. I mean, I've done a couple of no-nos today.
I just like to be on top of the action.
Oh, you need to be. Like you can't do a show and just stream. Like I
got TVs all over the place. I can tell you right now, cable is 45 seconds faster than direct TV and streaming. You're way ahead if you have cable.
I'm gonna tell you right now, streaming is garbage when it comes
it's
to
garbage. It's
when
garbage.
it comes to sports. Yeah.
Plus, I'm paying now. I used to pay $500 to watch TV. Now with all the streaming stuff, I'm paying like $800. It's not saving me any money whatsoever.
No, I pay more for cable. I just went back to cable. I don't care what they say. Oh, streaming. If you stream sports and you live bet, you're losing.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Long term, you're not going to be able to do it. Now, again, I usually bet during the breaks. Got a little carried away with it.
Yeah, and I'm just the type of guy, like, I don't want to use the word cheat, but I'm one of those people when I'm cold, I turn the heat up to 80. If it's hot, I got like 7 air conditioners running. Bill me later. I don't give a crap.
All right, let's take a break. Come back. Wow. What an early slate today. Best slate of the year to this point. Not just because me and Thomas are winning, because the games have been amazing.
But that helps. That helps.
Just offense, left and right. It's been so much fun. I mean, Pollard goes off. Foreman goes off. Hill goes off. Moore goes off. Devontae Adams gets nothing, basically. All right, let's come back. Maybe we'll do a little loser board again. Talk about the losers, and Davis Mills a loser because he just threw a pick. So Tennessee's got the ball. They're scoreless, 6:43. We need Derrick Henry to just run for 1 trillion yards today. Overtime with the Falcons and the Panthers. Am I really going to lose this? I'm going to lose this bet because of overtime because the kicker missed the kick. Ridiculous. All right, we'll come back. Hanging out with Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner, Better Zone, Better Sports Network.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Better Zone. Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Better Sports Network.
By the way, if you are a commissioner out there, if someone does not pay, that's on you at the end of the day. It sucks. That's why you have to get the money early, because if they don't pay, it's on you. You don't change the prize. A winner shouldn't be impacted because unfortunately you messed up as commissioner. And I've been caught with this before. I've made this mistake. It sucks, and I had to go out of pocket for it. You learn that maybe some of your friends should not be in that league. But Roan, we see it all the time with commissioner issues, and I can't stress it enough that when it comes down to league payment, it's on the commissioner if they don't have everybody's entry fee and someone decides to ghost them.
Yeah, I had to collect 36 entry fees this year. All of them were collected except one. And it was one of my friends who said he was going to pay the second. I forgot to remind him. He might even be listening, but I know he's going to pay. If not, I know where he lives. But nah, he'll pay. But yeah, I mean,
big brother Adam Rodas over here.
And even the guy that I've talked about before that usually always pays me at the end, he actually paid on time this time. He usually is like, I'll pay you on Friday, and then it doesn't come, and then it's 4 months later. And he always winds up paying. That's why I don't really get upset. But you've seen my emails, man. I don't play around. Like,
no.
This is the date. This is the date. You get it in by then. And I always, too, I'm like, the draft order will be determined when everyone pays. Right. So don't hit me up about the draft order. Once everyone pays, then the draft order will be done. And anyone who's been in this league, now Festy can't attest to this because he's never won money in my league, but the people who do win, they get it right away. Usually the next day or two. Just make sure the scoring, especially with football, no scoring changes, as long as it's not like a point victory, half a point, and then they'll get the money right away.
What about 2 points?
Yeah, wait it out just in case something crazy happens. I guess I don't wait till Thursday when the official scoring happens.
Yeah, man. A championship that I was in years ago got reversed, and I ended up winning on a Thursday stat correction.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. You hope it doesn't come down to that. If you're on the better end of that, it's great. But man, imagine thinking you won, you got the money, and then it changes. That's tough.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team while you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Better Sports Network.
Shotgun, handoff, Dalvin up the middle. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings! And it's 27-17, and they get a touchdown off the hitman's pick. Empty backfield. Nope. Now Madison heads to the backfield. Cousins shotgun. Short drop. Throws right. And caught. Touchdown! K.J. Osborne has given the Minnesota Vikings a 34-26 lead.
Hang out in the Better Zone for a better NFL game day experience.
All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. My name's Holden Kushner alongside Thomas Casale. We got Dave Poland in there. We got Essie in there. Obviously, the big boss is in there. Rivera, Nick Durst. What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate that. Are you kidding me? We're almost done with the show? What just happened? Holy moly, that happened fast today. This is the quickest 3 hours and 23 minutes you're going to see. What do we got here, Thomas? What are you seeing with Minnesota and the Cardinals? Because I'm seeing
Cardinals got the ball back. They're trying to tie this game up. Now, DJ Moore took his helmet off. Now, that's stupid. Whatever you think of that rule, it's been around long enough. You know you can't do it. That was the penalty. And as Dave Pollin said, good coaching by Arthur Smith to enforce that penalty on the extra point. They missed the extra point. I mean, go run to the sideline, take your helmet off. Everyone knows how to do that by now. So that's a really bad penalty that might have cost him a win. Everyone on Twitter is sitting on the edge of their seat for this Cardinals Vikings game. It's a touchdown and a missed 2 by Arizona covers it for the Cardinals. It's 3rd and 4 here, at least. Well, it's 3rd and 4 for me. The game's probably over for everybody else.
Cliff Kingsbury's another guy that's going to get the axe.
Yeah,
they're going to be 3 and 5. They don't come back here. Kyler Murray has not developed into a very good quarterback. So,
I mean, listen, you got some coaches here that we're looking at now. You know, we know the guy in Denver. You're looking at McDaniels, Dan Campbell, still telling the world that they're one play away.
Daniel's not going anywhere.
No, I know. I'm saying the guys who are
bad.
They're not going to fire McDaniel. I know that, but let me put it this way: if they don't get a lot better next season, he's going to be gone. You got Dan Campbell's telling everyone we're one play away. Blah blah blah. Same old, same old. It gets old. Players don't want to hear it anymore. And Kingsbury. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. Every year we get a few of them, but then people always ask, and I have no answer for them. Who would you hire? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
All right. I'm not going to use an illegal book, so I'll come up with the numbers myself. First coach to get fired: Campbell, Hackett, McDaniels, Rivera. I think Campbell, because he's been there the longest, and they're just going to be fed up. Hackett,
and they keep losing the same way. You know what I mean? Like when you keep losing the same way, you can't get rid of all your players. You got to do something.
Can't do that. You just can't. We do have the later. Okay, so I would go Hackett. I'd go Campbell, Hackett, Rivera. Those are the 3 guys. Those would be the 3 guys at the top.
Yeah.
Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. Let's see here. So we got 34. We're in overtime with the Panthers and the Falcons. I'm sitting on a Carolina plus 4.5. So if anything happens here, either turn the ball over or kick a field goal and let Carolina do whatever they're going to do. That would be nice. Tennessee and Houston, 41-yard run by Derrick Henry. He's sitting at 48 right now, 5 catches, 48 yards. I got to think he's got another big one. The longest rush catches, and he's 50 yards away from going over his line that dropped. Malik Willis has 2 yards rushing. I'm expecting him to run a little bit more. And now we're down to what, $1.17. What did Kyler just do? Why is he yelling at the ref? What are you doing? I don't know. I'm looking at it somehow. Benjamin. So I'll have to we'll keep an eye on that one. And then again, the other afternoon games have started. I'm really interested in the San Francisco game. I'm looking.
What do you think about the game tonight, Holden? A lot being made that Aaron Rodgers, a double-digit underdog for the first time in his career. He's going to Buffalo, where the Bills, are just look completely unbeatable with that crazy crowd. What are you looking at in that game?
I'm going to be betting player props and not a side. Kyler with a huge play. 24-yard pass to Hopkins. They're at the 37 with 27 seconds left. Got a little bit of life.
See, this is when he's at his best, though. These late.
You're right.
This is when he excels, I think. I'd be nervous if I have the Vikings laying the 3.5 here.
Yep. Falcons have a first down. They are at their own 27 right now. And then, that was a heck of a grab. Wow. DeAndre Hopkins. I guess people just forgot how great he was. I'm one of them. He might have the best hands in the league. He's got 12 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown, and the little guy just got sacked. So they're in trouble.
Murray?
Yeah. He's the little guy. There's nobody else.
Yeah, I figured. I just
completely condescending toward him.
I know a lot of people were on the Cardinals today, so this is an interesting game for me from a betting perspective.
Well, where are you on Green Bay and the Bills?
Yeah, I know Dave Powlin says the Packers plus 10.5 is tantalizing, but it could be a trap. I don't see the things that are wrong with Green Bay getting better. It's nothing, you know what I mean? Like they just struggle.
Mariota just threw a pick. The Panthers are going to have the ball in field goal range. Oh, my God.
Murray got sacked. That game's over.
All right, so Murray sacked. The Vikings are going to end up winning that game by 8. Vikings cover.
And here come the Panthers.
For those of you that had DJ Moore today, thank your lucky stars. Caught a bomb just about as time expired. And now it does look like the miracle cover is going to happen as Carolina has the ball at the Atlanta 20.
Yeah, you know, Holden, though, it's always weird like how people refer to bad beats, right? Like Carolina was winning the whole game. You know, they were covering the whole game. Now I know they needed but like for me, like I had Ohio State yesterday and they miraculously were covering the spread late, and then they gave up a touchdown to Penn State for the cover. But if I had won that game, I'd have gotten lucky. Like that wasn't a bad beat that Penn State scored in the final minute. It would be a bad beat if you had bet Penn State and lost that game. I feel the same way for Carolina bettors. Like they were on the right side of this the whole way.
And hopefully they'll cover now. I don't know. As far as bad beats, I think you just say bad beat when something you didn't expect to happen happens. That's basically a bad beat.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Is Foreman just going to – I'd love to see Foreman run this thing in again. My God, has he had a great day. Just looking at the leaderboard again and going back through some of this, Dante Foreman is what are we doing here? Dante.
How many fantasy points does he have?
31.2.
You're incredible.
Yeah, it's just incredible, Dante Foreman. I mean, he has rocketed up. Fourth Panther with 110 rush yards and 3 rushing TDs in a game. They just flashed.
That's awesome.
Board.
What's Geno up to over here?
Who?
Geno Smith.
Oh.
No. DK Metcalf.
I'd rather just like hide under the desk here and not watch Geno Smith to DK Metcalf. He's targeted him twice. How is this possible? What's going on today? And by the way, I can't even get back into it. Where's my fantasy football leaders here? I need my fantasy football leaders. They're not giving it to me. Uh-oh. So if you got any for me, Casali, by all means, go for it. But there we go. I just found it. Okay. Alvin Kamara.
That's awesome.
33.8 PPR points today. He is atop the leaderboard. I thought he scored another touchdown, too. This thing's all screwed up. Didn't Kamara have 3 touchdowns? He did, right? Just 3? So
I think so.
33.8. I thought he got to 40. Tony Pollard, 32.7.
You're incredible.
Foreman with 31.7. And then 18. Then you get the drop into the low 20s. So basically, if you had Kamara, Pollard, or Foreman today, you're sitting pretty.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Anthony Rivera in the chat, he had Pollard and DJ Moore in his DFS lineup today.
Impressive.
See, that's why I don't play DFS. I can't beat guys like Anthony Rivera.
I mean, that was
You can't win.
were two of the chalkiest plays. I mean, everybody had them. Not to knock Rivera, but you could have figured it out, Casali, I promise you.
I probably wouldn't have had DJ Moore. I'd have had Pollard and
we also got Rivera.
I'd have had Pollard and Devontae Adams.
Oh no! What just happened? Did Carolina just miss the field goal?
No!
Oh my God! What is happening? Ah! I hate you. Is that Joey Sly?
Whoever he is going to be unemployed tomorrow.
What are we doing here? What are we doing, Carolina? There's nothing funny about that.
Doodle! You make me anyone above it.
Twitter is telling me this is Eddie Pinero.
Okay, Eddie Pinero can go. You know, you can go ship him down the lake and get him out of here. I never want to see Eddie Pinero again if they don't cover this thing. I hope it finishes in a tie. My God.
I hope you're riding hell, you loser.
I mean, settle down. That's a little personal. If you had AJ Brown today, you won a lot of money probably. 33.6. 156, 3 touchdowns. Waddle. What did Waddle do? 8 catches, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right, we got to get the PPR up here. So here's the PPR. 39.6 for Brown. 33.9. DeAndre Hopkins got up there, Thomas.
Yep.
12 catches, 159, a touchdown. I mean, I don't know what wide receivers are worth to a line, but I feel like he's got to be worth a lot considering how much more productive Kyler Murray is, right? When he's got
they're not worth a lot. I remember when Beckham was with the Giants, and I talked to an odds maker, and he said, you know, it's really quarterback. You know, they said 1 or 2 receivers might move. Nah, it's really quarterbacks that move the line. But yeah, maybe in terms of the total, you know, with Hopkins back and Murray, but yeah, that team's interesting. Their defense is bad. I was not impressed with their Saints win on Thursday night, and so that's why I like the Vikings. I didn't play the game, but I know a lot of people were on the Cardinals today.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this game going to end in a tie? Are we going to get a tie today?
I'm not sure. I hope so. Well, actually, a field goal wins it. So hopefully there's just no crazy touchdown at this point because I can't handle that anymore. This game has been a roller coaster of emotions. And I really wish, honestly, I don't think it's been worth the sweat. Not these two teams. But if the Falcons win, they're 4-4. And I think their season win prop was between 4.5 and 5.5, depending on when you got it.
The lowest win totals were, and this is pretty interesting, the Texans, who are still pretty bad, the Falcons, then the Seahawks, and the Giants. Those are so. If you were betting under on those teams, you're probably going to take it on the chin.
How's our boy Ellinger doing? Let's go see Sam Ellinger as he's making his NFL starting debut today. So there's some interesting things going on. Rams and Niners just underway. 5 minutes into that one, McCaffrey 10 yards rushing, a catch for 11 yards. He's going to touch the ball 20 times today. I really think they have to. They got to get the ball in his hands.
There goes Mariota.
Run, Forrest, run!
Ellinger should have just thrown an interception, by the way. Sam Ellinger. Washington, Indianapolis. Not the sexiest game. Ellinger, 3 of 5, 11 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 2 yards rushing. So I think I'm just going to stay away from that. I think it's just a stay away spot.
You make me sick.
I don't want anything to do with that game.
Cooper Kupp with a big grab there. He gives the Rams a first down. And we're just waiting on the end of this Atlanta-Carolina game. And Marcus Mariota, who threw the pick that should have just ended the game, had a big run. He gets into Carolina territory. So could be an upcoming field goal there.
So let me ask you this.
What's up?
Let me ask you this, Holden. Like we were talking about, like everyone's on Justin Fields. So let me give you this list. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Can I argue that he's the best out of that group?
He's better than Mac Jones because Mac Jones is
everyone wants to like throw in the towel, but they're making it sound like there was a Patrick Mahomes in this.
You know why? You know why I threw the towel in on Justin Fields? Because he's with the Bears, and I'm not kidding you. I just think
bad organization.
It's a horrible organization. They've never been able to develop quarterbacks. Never.
Right. That I can buy. Yes.
All right, Cleveland Browns. You need to be a transcendent talent to be a good quarterback with the Browns. Baker Mayfield looked like he was going to be transcendent for a year, but then the organization caught up to him again. Things went south. Things were dysfunctional. There wasn't a good leader at the top. So I'm still a little down on Justin Fields going forward.
But I'm just saying, I feel like he's getting way more criticism than the other guys.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe because the Bear. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, but listen. The Jets are a bad organization. Jacksonville's a bad organization. Niners and Patriots are better organizations. But I don't know.
Tua 382, 3 touchdowns. Prescott 250, 2-1 today. Waddle scored twice. Tyreek went for a season high 195. Carr averaged 3.9 yards per attempt. That's almost impossible.
I'd like to. I don't really watch too many coaches' press conferences because they don't say anything. But I'd like to see what Josh McDaniels had to say after that game.
Good God!
How do you even explain what happened today?
That is awful.
Yeah, because the only explanation is we weren't trying very hard. There's no way you can play the Saints and get shut down like that. It's not possible.
So we're getting the injuries here from our producers. No big names. Devontae Parker with the knee, and then Mark Ingram with the knee. And I think that would have knocked Kamara down maybe on a touchdown. But outside of that, he was still going to have a monster game.
Yeah.
So we got lucky today. We didn't have any big injuries. That makes me feel good. I can't stand when that happens. But, boy, what were they doing with Devontae Adams today? You can't have a 3.9 ADOT when you have Devontae Adams. I don't care if you get the
You know what's funny about that, Holden? Sometimes there's a situation that's the best for both parties. Like Devontae Adams in Green Bay, that's a good fit for everybody. Now you get Adams out of there. Now he's not producing anymore, and the Packers don't have any receivers. So I think it was just one of those things that worked well together, and for some reason, it got blown up.
Dalvin Tomlinson, Vikings defensive tackle, went down. Is that game over yet?
Yeah. The only 1 o'clock game.
Not the Vikings game. I was talking about Atlanta. Is it?
Oh, no. Well, you're going to see it before me. They're lining up for a field goal.
Okay.
And they called timeout.
Good. So unless something crazy happens, finally get the 4.5. It's still not worth it. Too much of a sweat. Anthony Barr.
Wrong week. Quit amphetamines.
Anthony Barr, hamstring. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Eagles, ankle. And those are the big injuries. Let's take a quick break, Thomas. We'll come back. Leaderboard, talk about some of the things that we're seeing right now. I mean, Dante Foreman today, 118, 3 touchdowns. Impressive. Most impressive, as a matter of fact. And that's it. Falcons win it 37-34. He's Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner. Better Zone, Better Sports Network. Stick around.
It's like I picked the wrong week. Quit amphetamines.
Better Zone.
It's true. Never done amphetamines.
Better Sports Live with Rick Kamla at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Better Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo, he's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry, okay? Talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach. Makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting to bring up.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at like Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you know, want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right.
Yeah, that can incite you. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? You know,
it's interpretation, and that's my problem. Watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play. Someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to mine.
Bettor Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
Walker remains in the gun. 3-man rush, takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his left. He's flushed, loads up, airs it deep downfield for DJ Moore. Behind his man. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He caught the ball. DJ Moore caught the ball.
How did that happen?
Oh, my goodness. Touchdown, Carolina. This is amazing.
How do you get behind the defense? And a big throw, big arm by PJ.
Oh, is that a flag? It might be unsportsmanlike at the end of the play.
Well,
DJ Moore lunged and climbed up.
Wow.
Into the seats.
Wow.
What an unreal finish. Now, you still got to make the extra point, which may have gotten just harder.
Exactly right.
Snap spot. Try is away from Pinheiro. He missed it. Holy smokes.
That's just the way, you know, it's a mental game when it comes to kicking.
And he missed a 33-yard field goal, and Atlanta gets the ball back.
Better zone.
All right, my friends. That was I'm going to go with the Falcons radio network, the Panthers radio network. That was just an absolute roller coaster ride for the side bettors. Probably the total too. DJ Moore catches a bomb with 12 seconds left, takes his helmet off. They miss the extra point. They got to go to overtime. They intercept Mariota. They miss a field goal, and then Mariota gets the ball down there, and they kick a field goal, and Atlanta wins that game. For all the great offense, he's Thomas Casale. I'm Holden Kushner, by the way. For all the great offense we've had in the early games, we literally have nothing in the late games. Has there been a score yet? No score.
Nope.
New York.
Looks like my idea of taking the trends didn't work out very well.
Well, good. I didn't bet it. Did you?
I have over in the Giants game. That game wouldn't go over if they played it for 12 years.
Tyler Higbee is in the medical tent. So those of you that have any Tyler Higbee props, start freaking out. Unless he just came out, I don't see him though. Elijah Moore on his chemistry with Zach Wilson. This is a good one. I don't get the ball, so I don't know. I like Elijah Moore telling us the actual truth about Zach Wilson being not so good. I don't know. I don't get the ball. Vikings are 6-1 now. Is that true, Thomas Casale?
They got to be the worst 6-1 team I've ever seen.
Yeah?
I'm dying to fade them, but I can't find a good spot. Like today wasn't a good spot. I don't know. I'm just not a big believer. I don't know if Kirk Cousins in the big games is going to be the guy, I guess. So when they play tougher competition, I would. But who's tough? I mean, they already played the Eagles. So I guess that's.
All right, let's see here. 2nd and goal. The Rams are down at the 2-yard line of the Niners. They haven't been able to stick it in. You got any unders for these afternoon games, at least through the first quarter? you got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. Cup couldn't make the catch there because of a bad throw by Stafford. All right, let's get to the loser board, do a quick leaderboard, and then we'll say goodbye to each other, Thomas Casale. Quarterback
Sounds
loser
good,
board.
'cause I'm starving.
Derek Carr, 15 to 26, 101 yards and an interception. He's the biggest loser there. You might go with Trevor Lawrence, though. 18 to 31, 133, a touchdown, 2 picks. Who wins the loser board on the quarterbacks? Is it Carr or Lawrence?
It's got to be Carr.
Okay.
Just a dreadful performance.
Derek Carr, loser. Najee Harris, 32 yards, 6 catches, 26 yards on the loser board. Benjamin, 22 yards rushing, 4 for 23 receiving. Damian Harris, 11 carries, 37 yards. Who wins the loser board here?
Who was the first guy you said?
Najee. He had 58 total yards and 6 catches. He actually had 11 points because he kind of salvaged the day.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I know a lot of people were high on Eno Benjamin this week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a disappointing performance.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that works. Wide receivers.
You don't even have to read those. We know who.
Oh, do you know who it is? No. I got a loser. I got the biggest loser at running back. He's not on the list. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, who had eclipsed 30 fantasy points in 3 straight games. 2 catches, 11 yards, 43 rushing yards for 7.4. Josh Jacobs, you are the biggest loser at running back today. Sorry. He has to overtake Eno Benjamin.
I'm sensing a theme.
Raiders? Oh yeah,
because I know who's going to be the biggest loser at receiver.
And we just need to find out tight end now. Cortland Sutton, a catch for 13 yards. Devontae Adams, -1 rushing, 1 catch, 3 yards. George Pickens got a donut. Elijah Moore got a donut. Mad respect for Elijah Moore, though. Get him. If I was with Zach Wilson, I'd get upset too. Who's the biggest loser there? It's got to be Devontae, right?
Yeah, no doubt about that one.
And then tight end, Irv Smith, 4 catches, 17 yards. Hunter Henry, 1 catch, 22 yards.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting much from either of those guys anyway, but you said Irv Smith was a big DFS play, so we go with him.
He was. That did not work out. If you rostered Irv today, he was the chalk. How are the Rams still inside the 5-yard line?
They've had 12 plays, and I don't know. They've been there for an hour inside the 5. I don't know what's going on.
Every time I look up, they're running another play. Every freaking time. Hey, remember, did I talk to you about Jawan Johnson? I think I did that earlier today. Jawan Johnson was coming off a huge game. He had 2 catches for 14 yards today, so he's got to be part of the loser board. But Irv Smith probably takes the cake. Irv Smith will take it.
Yeah, we'll give it to Irv.
All right, so our loser board roster is Carr, Jacobs, Adams. We can't give it to Foster Moreau. Touchdown Rams, by the way. Was that Stafford that ran it in? Yeah. 6-0 Rams, extra point pending. They're right down at the end of the first quarter. Derrick Henry has 7 carries for 63 yards. He should be able to blast through that 97-yard prop. Malik Willis has not run much, Thomas.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He hasn't run much.
We just need a big one. Give us one big one. Give us one 25-yarder to give us a shot.
He hasn't run one. He hasn't run, and he hasn't passed. 2 passes, 2 rushes. 15 total yards. All right, let's go to the winners.
Dave Pollen said that we should be able to eat while we're working. That's a good policy. He should be running things. And he also said about the 3-man weave, excellent college Yeah, they're good. I don't read a ton of college basketball stuff before the season because I don't want my opinions altered. I be mine. So, but yeah, that is a good source for college basketball.
You know what I've been betting, Thomas, since I've moved out here to Denver? Big Sky. Coach? The Big Sky.
Oh, love Big Sky. I love Big Sky.
Big Sky.
I love the Big Sky. Well, listen, I put it right now. Montana, Big Sky champions this year. Put it in the books.
Beautiful. I'll bet it. I love betting the Big Sky. I'm not even kidding.
I love one of my favorite conferences to bet.
Northern Colorado basketball.
Yep, they're good this year. That's a good conference this year. Montana State, Northern Colorado, Eastern Washington. Yeah, it's going to be a good Big Sky season this year.
For those of you that don't bet college basketball and you're like, oh, Big Sky, I'm not going to do that. There's so many teams that the books don't know how to handicap the smaller leagues.
Right. I don't bet Duke, North Carolina. That's you can watch it. I don't bet it. I'm looking at Big Sky, Patriot League. Let's go crazy, baby.
Is the Mountain West a little too big for you? I bet a lot.
No. Listen, I'll bet. I'm just saying there's in big conferences too. There's some edges. I'm just saying, I'm looking for those games in those smaller conferences with the bad lines, especially early in the year before the books catch up with them.
Texans just picked Malik Willis, took it back to the 10-yard line. They're set up first and goal from the 10. All right, just the leaders at every position. Tyler Conklin, Jets. Who said he needs Joe Flacco? 6 catches, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. I did. You're right. Forgot about it. Good point. A.J. Brown leading things. 39 point. Was he the high scorer today, or was it Kamara? We'll see in a second. Brown, 39.6 points, 6 catches, 156, 3 touchdowns. Wow, what a day. Running back. It's got to be Kamara, right? There's no one else to talk about but Alvin Kamara.
And Pollard got to be second.
Pollard, and you've got Foreman right there with him.
Yep,
So
Foreman,
the top three, Kamara, 42.8 PPR, leading scorer on the day. A.J. Brown was 2, but Kamara, 62 yards rushing, a touchdown, 2 receiving touchdowns, 9 catches, 96 yards. Ooh, a little trickeration there by the Texans. That didn't work out. Kamara 1, Pollard 2, Foreman 3. ATN Cook rounding out the top 5. Quarterback. We had some nice quarterbacks, huh? Tua takes it right now, though. 29.18 points. He goes for 382 and 3 touchdowns with 19 yards on the ground, Thomas. Hurts, Fields, Prescott, Murray round out the top 5. Basically, you just got to run.
Yeah.
But Hurts didn't run today. He threw 4 touchdowns.
No, yeah.
We should not be allowed to eat when we're working, by the way. Eat during the breaks or forever hold your peace. That's all I can say about it, Thomas. Eat during the break or forever hold your peace. Sam Ellinger. Ellinger. 42 yards on 6 of 8. Hasn't tried running yet, though. But Michael Pittman's got 3 for 32. That's a nice little connection there.
Yeah.
They would keep that going forward. Think about that going forward. Stafford rushing touchdown, 7-0 Rams over the Niners. These totals must have just sunk. We're down to 32.5 in the Washington Colts game. 33.5 now. 33.5 in the Texans and Titans, 3-0 Texans. 37.5 Jets and Seahawks. That game has not done anything. Rams and Niners, 39.5. What do you think about a little under? 31.5.
For what? Which one?
Houston, Tennessee.
That'll probably go under. The Colts game will probably go under too.
I got to look at these team totals here. This will be the interesting one. Let's go look at the team totals. All right. How many points do the Titans score? 14.5. Juice basically the same, minus 115. See, Derrick Henry can run it in twice. How are they getting the other half a point?
Right.
Titans team total under? I want to pull the trigger. I really want to pull the trigger on that. I don't think I can do it. 39.5 Rams and Niners? Neither team looks like they're going to be able to do anything, Thomas.
No, yeah. I don't know. I never won an under in my life, so.
Oh, you haven't, so I'm not going to bother with you? All right.
No.
All right, I'm throwing the bet in before the break. Okay? Under 39.5.
All right, well, this ain't a break. We're leaving in 15 seconds.
Beautiful. Is it really 15 seconds?
Yeah.
All right, let me get it in before it's gone then. That's my last bet of the day, people. 39.5 to the under with the Rams and the Niners. And that'll do it, my friend.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for filling in. It was a great day. We won a lot of money. Had a blast.
Yeah, because we won money. You're back with Corey next week.
Yep.
Good luck.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, it was great to see you, Thomas. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes too, Adam, Deutsch, everybody. You guys are awesome. Rivera was in the chat. Everybody in the chat too. Bettor Zone is in the books on the Bettor Sports Network.